I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, I sold them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.
Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy, Finn State with CBD3A, coming to you for another banger. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to all the people out there coming in the room. Hit the like on your way in. Shout out to the homies in the building. Q is here. Canes is here. What's good, fellas? What's poppin'? We about to get this thing cracking on a Wednesday at 4:05 p.m. There's not a lot of people that know I'm live right now. I usually never go on this early, but do your boy a favor, punch the like, hit everybody up, let them know CB83 is live, and we about to go up. So shout out to the homies in the building. Shout out to Q, who was in here first. More shenanigans. Fins up, sup big oos, let's get it. You already know how it goes down. Let's get it cracking, Q. Let's get it popping. Yes, sir. We here. Shout out to the homies coming in the building. Like I said, do your boy a favor, hit the like. Shout out to my homie Canes in the building. Canes is going through it, but you my dog. You my dog. I'm going to hold you down. Hey, prayers up for you and the fam. You already know what time it is, man. Shout out to the homie Canes. Let's go, Canes. Let's get it. Hey, and shout out to everybody. I see y'all. Y'all coming in here in droves. Hit the like button on your way in. Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. We here. We up. We the best right now. We the best in the AFC right now. We the best in the nation.
I'm the best in the nation. I'm supposed to be number one right now.
Now we the best in the nation. Stop playing with us, man. We got this. We run the AFC. We the best in the nation. Hey, the rest of the AFC, they cooked. They cooked.
He got cooked.
Hey, you didn't go down like that, huh?
He got cooked.
Got cooked, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. We the best in the nation. Adam Sadowski, what's popping with you? He says, fins up. Fins up, y'all. Fins up to the homie. S. Harris in the building. S. Harris, what's popping with you, my boy? I ain't seen you in a while. He said, CB, what up, bro? What's good with you? Nice to see you come through. EM, the real EM in the building, huh? The real EM? Well, the real EM, please stand up. Ian Baller, what's popping with you, man? He says, what's up? Fins up. Hey, ABAB, what's popping with you? Says, let's go. Yes, sir. Let's go. Cap for life in the building. Cap for life. Hey, my homie in real life. We done broke bread together. We done hung out. Shout out to the homie Cap for life. He says, CB has been too quiet the past couple weeks. I don't know how to feel about that. Hey, yeah, we got to have some conversations. It's been a little quiet out here. Dolphins ain't getting no love, as usual, per usual. You know how that go, right? National media, we still ain't beat nobody. Still don't get the respect. Hey, it's okay. We just fly under the radar. Nobody pay attention to us. We just over here handling business, doing what we supposed to be doing, and that's how we'll rock it. I mean, we just, every day, go to work, chop wood, get after it. That's what we're going to do, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Wayne D is in the building. Shout out to the homie Wayne D. Wayne D be in the studio, bro. I need that. Hey, what's up with that intro, bro? I need that new intro. Let's get it cracking. Actually, I just need a song for the intro. I'll just take that other music off, rip that off, throw yours on, bro. What's up? Yo, it's time to lock it down and to win this 1 seed, family. Yes, sir. We got to get this. Hey, this 1 seed is popping. We got to get it. We control our own destiny. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. 1 seed. Here we go. Yes, sir. Shout out to the homie Dwayne D in the building. I see y'all in here. Canes, Cap, Ian Baller, ABAB. Who else in here? Y'all in here. Yeah, let's get it cracking, man. So there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to talk about, right? As far as the Miami Dolphins go, we just came off a big win versus the Commanders, right? 45-15. Good win versus, okay football team. They got some quality wins. They also got some bad losses. It's another notch in our belt, right? Another team we knock off. This week we got the Tennessee Titans in Miami on a Monday night. The Miami Dolphins are in really great position to just really control their own destiny. Five games left, 4 home games. The only one you're going on the road for is the Baltimore game, which you just did that last year, and Tua dropped 6 tutties on them boys. So, you're really in a position to really control your own destiny. Just win out, take care of business, do what you got to do, and we'll be fine. Before the season, I predicted us to be 13-4. Right now, it's looking like that could be the case coming down the stretch, right? I expect us to start winning some of these tough games versus teams like the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Bills, right? Those are good football teams. And I expect us to take care of, the Jets and the Titans. I expect us to do that. That's something we can easily take care of. That's something we can handle. So the Dolphins are in really good position, right? The defense is playing well. The offense is playing well. Special teams is, doing what they need to do. And the Dolphins are ready to kind of take the next step, I think. I think coming down the stretch, it's about proving you can play meaningful football late in the season when weather permits itself, and whatever you got going on. I think it's a great opportunity for the Miami Dolphins to just go out, win games, put themselves in a position to lock it down, right? The 1 seed would be ideal. You get the home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and you get to ride that thing into Vegas. It's like, come on, man. That's what you want, man. You want that controlling that thing. You want to be at home. You want to play at home. I feel like the Miami Dolphins are a really good football team at home. We play well at Hard Rock. So yeah, man, we got to do that, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hey, throw some questions in the chat for me. So, defensively, we're looking solid. How many Pro Bowlers do you think the Miami Dolphins have this year? I think Jalen Ramsey is one. I think Christian Wilkins could be one. You think, I don't know, with Van Ginkel putting up numbers like he is, it is basically a celebrity contest. That's part of it. We know Tyreek and Tua will be in the Pro Bowl. But, man, we got an opportunity to get a good amount of guys in the Pro Bowl. I don't expect those guys to be playing in the Pro Bowl because I do expect us to be playing in Las Vegas this year. So I don't think they'll have an opportunity to actually go and participate. But, hey, I want to see those guys get those accolades, those all-pros. Tyreek's an all-pro. Tua's playing like an all-pro. Jalen Ramsey's playing like an all-pro. X quietly is doing his thing. He's locking it down. Javon Holland is playing good football. And that's the thing. I think this roster has a lot of talent on it. I think this roster has a ton of talent, and it is very top-heavy. But if you can keep those talented guys on the field, you're going to have a shot week in and week out. I think that's just the nature of it because you got some really good football players on this team. There we go. First question. ABAB. Okay. How much are we paying Austin Jackson a year? Good question. Let's look at Austin Jackson's salary. Let's look at the top tackle salary. Let's look at tackle salary. let's be more specific, and let's look at right tackle salary. Salary, NFL. So let's look at the right tackles. Man, so you're looking at Lane Johnson, and I'm pretty sure this is 2023 updated. Lane Johnson is getting paid $20 million a year. Jawan Taylor's $20 million a year. Ryan Ramczyk, $19 million. And then we scroll down. Let's just scroll down a little bit. Let's get to the 15 range. Jack Conklin is getting $15 million a year. Trent Brown from the Patriots is getting 6.5. I don't know, man. I think Austin Jackson could be a guy who gets around, $5 to $6 million a year. I think that would be reasonable for him. Do I think he takes that? I think he could. I don't know. I mean, when we look at his situation, and what's going on, I mean, he's had one good year. I'm not going to give him the bag off of 1 year, but I'm going to pay him. I got to pay him, right? And I think you can pay him enough to keep him around. So I think $5 to $6 million could be a good salary for Austin Jackson yearly. And I think he'd be happy with that. And I think the Miami Dolphins will have a lot of guys in that range, in that $5 to $6 million a year, because I think we got to pay Van Ginkel too. I think you got to extend him. I think he's reasonable in that range as well, maybe 4 to 5, 5 to 6. I would expect Austin Jackson to get a little bit more than Van Ginkel just based off the position he plays. But yeah, I think Austin Jackson could, fetch between $6 and $8 million a year. I think so. Shake Money in the building. Brian Baines, what's good? 9-3. Let's go. Yes, sir. 9-3. Shake Money says, tag and trade Wilkins. Tag and trade Wilkins?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't know about tag and trade. I think you tag him for sure. I think you tag him and you let him play on the tag for one more year. And at that point, you're either going to extend him or you're going to let him walk, I think. So I think next year we just tag him and let him play. That's my thoughts. I think tagging him, letting him play on the tag, he may not want to play on the tag, but hey, that's the nature of the business, and that's why it's there, to be able to use it. So I think tagging him, could be the situation. I like the way he's playing right now, right? So I don't like the thought of trading him unless you can get a guy in that's similar, not necessarily a similar skill set, but can get you similar production. If you can get similar production out of a guy, a younger guy, or somebody cheaper money, then that's a situation where you can trade him. You can move on from him for sure. But yeah, I think Wilkins will be around next year. I don't know if the Miami Dolphins extend him long term. Ideally you'd like to. I just think you don't have the funds to extend everybody and keep everybody around. Now, if you go win it and, people are thinking, hey, let's run it back, you're probably going to have a little bit more leeway to tell guys, hey, let's go get another one. Help us out, right? But if you don't win it this year, guys are going to be looking to cash out. They're going to be looking to go get their money. So that's why this year is so important. Because you have an opportunity right now. It's in front of you. So go get the win, go get the Super Bowl, go get the ring, and then you can say, hey, let's go do something that hasn't been done in a while. Let's go run it back and actually get the dub, right? The Bucs tried it, but they couldn't get it done. So, yes, sir. Shake Money in the building says, what's good, CBD? Thanks for coming through yesterday. Oh, yeah, anytime. If y'all don't follow or subscribe to Larry K, be sure to subscribe to Larry K over there. Shake was over there with a panel yesterday. They do a good panel. that guy, I don't know the guy's name, Anthony or Palucci or whatever his name is. He gets a little carried away at times, but hey, it is what it is. He don't really know ball like that, but it is what it is. Canes, what's good with you? S. Harris says, hell no. Hey, so and this is the debate within the community. Like, you're literally split between guys who like Christian Wilkins and want to keep him around and guys who are willing to move off of him. And that's the difficult thing about it. Christian Wilkins is our guy. We drafted him. He's been a great locker room guy throughout the head coaches that have been here. He's been a high character guy. Just hilarious, right? And it's cool to see him on Hard Knocks, his personality too. I didn't know he cursed so much, but potty mouth guy, but has fun. Always having fun with the team. Always a character, always dancing. You'd like to have guys like that around because they're just fun guys to be around. And I know that'll be missed in the Miami Dolphins locker room. If Christian Wilkins is let go or if he's traded or whatever. So you don't want to see a guy like that leave, but that's the nature of the business. I think the Miami Dolphins really love Christian. I think Christian really loves the Miami Dolphins back. And I think that could be the best thing for us because it could mean him willing to do a little bit more to help the team out in the future. So maybe that's the case. But we'll see. We'll see. As Harris says, Austin probably gets 8. I think so too. Maybe somewhere between that 6 and 8 range. Maybe that 7.5, 7.25 a year range. And lock him down for the next few years. Give him a 3-year deal. And just see if he can do it again. Or maybe give him a 2-year deal. See if he can do it again. So I like the thought of that. Hey, why? Hey, Shake's mad at this Power Ranger thing, man. Shake Money says, S. Harris, he's the heart and soul of the Power Rangers, not the Dolphins. Oh, stop. Shake giving him a hard time over the Power Rangers, the Power Ranger celebration. Come on, man. My man ABAB says we gotta pay. Oh, he meant paint. He meant pay. We gotta pay Connor Williams too. You're right about that. Somehow, some way, I'd like to keep this offensive line intact, but the way these guys are getting injured now, it's almost like, man, it's gonna be tough to do. You just want more durable guys, right? You want some guys who can stay around for a while. Like, you want some guys who could be there. And when they're not there, it makes it harder for you because you're moving guys in and out of the roster. I just want to see us get some guys that are more consistent, right? I want to see that. I want to see us get some guys that are more consistent. So that's something I really want to see. Is the Miami Dolphins kind of lock in an offensive line that's going to be consistent, that's going to be available. Armstead's been in and out of the lineup. I want to see somebody at that position who can just stay there, whether that's Kendall Lamb or somebody else. I don't know, but we got to find somebody who's consistent. I know Teron Armstead is a good player, right? And I think we got him on a really good deal, but he needs to become more available for us. He needs to get his body right. My man Shake says get something for him instead of nothing, and that's the tough part, right? Letting a guy go versus moving him. You just don't know, and I think in this day and age, sometimes it's hard for you to move guys. You see a lot of guys getting cut and just getting waived instead of being traded, like Shaq Leonard, Ertz, all these guys. These guys aren't willing to be moved for capital anymore, and sometimes that's the case. And I think these players do have a little bit more power than people think they do sometimes. To want to go and be free agents and go where they want to go, because they can say, hey, I'm not going to sign a long-term deal with the next team. I'm just not going to do it unless you give me my money now up front. And if you're not willing to give me my money up front, these teams that you're trading me to, then just cut me and waive me, and I'll go, test my market. go to the open market and see what it is. Yeah, man. Hey, give me some more questions though. Give me some more questions. I got some of the homies pulling up in a few. My man Shake said he's not worth $30 million. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't think he's worth $30 million. Honestly, I like to pay Christian between 16 to 18 would be ideal, right? But you just know he's going to get a little bit more than that. He should probably get on the open market between 22 and 25. But, I mean, that's a lot of money he's giving up by signing with the Dolphins if we give him 18, 19, $20 million a year. He's probably going to miss out on 10 mil over the length of the contract. So it's tough, man. It's tough. Tough decisions to be made, and that's why Chris Greer gets paid the big bucks, and that's why Mike McDaniel's here too, and Fangio, because they can figure out, hey, do I really need this guy? How much is his value? How much is he worth? Do I need to kind of find a cheaper option? I think those are conversations that are had on the daily, when it comes to building a team, building a franchise. So that's part of it. Shake Money says, I love all the way this offensive line has been stepping up. Yeah. This offensive line has been doing their thing. They've been playing good football, and like getting into Hard Knocks, we saw a little bit more of the coaching aspect, which was cool, right? We saw a little bit more of the coaching aspect. We saw Wes Welker be a little bit more seen on the Hard Knocks. We saw the DB coach for the first time in the classroom talking to his guys. We saw linebacker coach. We actually saw Vic Fangio. He didn't really speak or anything, but we saw the coaches more involved with the players. Of course, we saw Mike McDaniel doing his speech, his typical pre-week speech. Hey, guys, we got to get after it. There's an opportunity in front of us. Remember this time last year, we were 8-3 at the same time, winning the same friend loss. What are we going to do this year to change that? And that was kind of his thought process. And he kind of said that after the game too. He was like, hey, this is big for us, right? This was the same thing as last year, but we basically changed the tide. We changed the tide. So that was a beautiful thing. But, I mean, it was cool to see the coaches more involved, more engaged with the players. We saw a lot of Van Ginkel, which was cool, and his wife and his family, which was cool because he had a hell of a game too. Just had a hell of a game, and the storyline almost played out perfectly, right? So Jalen Phillips gets hurt last week. He has surgery, and Van Ginkel, HBO's kind of following Van Ginkel in his journey, and the way he's going to have to step up in the game, and he just comes out and has a crazy performance. So it just kind of worked perfectly as far as the storyline goes with HBO, and just understanding that, it really is a next man up mentality on these football teams, because you never know when guys are going to go down. So that was really cool to see the Van Ginkel journey. And it's crazy that him and his wife have been together since they were like in high school. That's pretty wild. But it's cool to see the two kids and the boys having fun. And that whole day his wife said, their son was saying daddy touchdown, right? And he ends up going out and getting the touchdown. So that's just cool, man. That's great TV. That's TV that everybody can enjoy. Your wives, your girlfriends, everybody, right? It's just cool storylines, and cool to see the players involved. Also, they celebrating Christmas. That was cool. They're doing a little Christmas rooms, and these organizations got a ton of money. They could do a lot of cool stuff. But it's cool to see the background and what's going on and how they keep it festive during the holidays. You got to think a lot of these guys are, providing for their families. They're spending a lot of money on Christmas, and they really don't. They really don't have an opportunity to celebrate like that. They're just usually, writing the checks, spending the money, swiping the cards. But it's cool to see that, the organization tries to make it festive for him, put up some decorations, a Christmas tree. It's cool. It's cool. Tua talking about Michael Bublé, who does have some fire Christmas music, but ain't nothing messing with that Mariah Carey, that Temptations. It's a lot of different Christmas music out there, but it's just dope to see when those guys, interact with one another. And we also saw the JPP signing, which was cool, right? We saw JPP kind of get introduced into the fold. And literally, he was like the new kid at the school, right? New kid in school, sitting down, getting introduced to the guys. And then, just, hey, what do you want? You want me to call you JPP or PP? Like, it's different stuff like that. So it's cool to see the back channel, like the background of what's going on in the Miami Dolphins community, and that's just fun, right? I thought it was a cool episode, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the storylines. Looking forward to seeing more of Jalen and the DBs and that DB room, and I mean, and that was cool to see too. The DB room, and the coach was like, "Yo, we got everything to lose. They got nothing to lose," and he was talking to the safeties. Right? And he was like, yo, you got to keep everything in front of you. Make sure all of the plays stay in front of you. And that's how, we'll end up winning the game. So, dope to see. Dope to see. Shake Money says, hey, he said, no, Ranger. Hey, we ain't, man, stop talking about my nose, man. I'm hurt. I'm really hurt. I'm pissed off. My nose didn't get in the playoffs. We the BCS national champions. I don't care what nobody say. I'm tight about it, right? My guys went 13-0. They gonna base us not getting in the playoffs because we have a third string quarterback, true freshman going out there to play in an ACC championship game. He wasn't gonna play in the playoffs, but we had to run the Wildcat. We had to get creative. We still found a way to win the game. And they still found a way to screw us. But when it comes to these playoffs, just remember it's all about the money, right? Follow the money. Go to the SEC sponsors page and look at who their sponsors are. Dr. Pepper, Allstate, all the big advertising companies who run commercials during these playoffs, right? They're not the college committee, the playoff committee is not letting the playoffs go down without an SEC team in that playoff. So they're just thinking, hey, if one SEC team is going to get in, it's going to be Alabama, and we're going to put them in over Florida State. And that's what they felt. And that's what you do. You got to follow the money. It's all about the money in college football. It's one big TV commercial. So it is what it is. But I'm done with them chumps. I'm done with them. I'm done with the playoffs. I might not even watch no college football for the rest of the season. It's all Dolphins from here on out. All Dolphins. Dolphins Thirsty, what's good, man? Shout out to the homie Dolphins Thirsty, man. He's got a dope channel. Go follow him. Subscribe to him. Good people. Good content. Yeah. Let's do this. Dolphins Thirsty has a question. AVG next contract value outpriced to stay on the Fins. No, I think he's going to be fine. I think AVG may get $4 to $4.5 million on a contract extension. I think he's a guy Fangio definitely wants to keep around. Maybe it's a little bit less than that. I don't know. But I think Fangio sees him as a piece that he needs in his defense. And I think Van Ginkel will get an extension for sure by the way he's playing. I think he's going to get an extension. I think he's a solid player. I think he's a great high character guy. Goes to work, hard hat, lunchbox, ready to go. So I think he's definitely going to be around, and I definitely think we find a way to keep him on the roster. Those are the guys you need. Shake Money with a question. What's your thoughts on the tight end room? Tight end room is blah, right? I think Julian Hill's coming along, getting better. Durham Smythe is Durham Smythe. I like to see those guys get more involved in the offense. Along with Alec Ingold, I want to see Alec Ingold more involved in the passing game and getting him in the flats. I think that's something this offense needs. I think that's an element this offense needs. So, tight end room, it is what it is right now. I'd like to see us go out and get one of these more versatile guys who can block and pass catch at like a higher clip, right? These guys that are really versatile, that can really do a little bit of everything, but we don't know, right? We don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. Raphael, what's good with you? Says, I don't know. CB83 Ravens D tackle got 10 sacks so far this season. Paid 94, 10 to $15 million max. Can't let dude walk away. Building piece for the future. Now, I don't know if Christian is willing to take, 10 to $15 million a year, right? That's closer to what Tyler got. I don't know if that's something he'll take. If that was the case, I think he'd have been signed already if he was willing to take that. So, not sure if that happens, but we'll see. Hey, another question. What's up, Ruben Foster? So I heard Ruben Foster was coming in for a workout today to basically work out for the Dolphins and see if he could make the roster, see if he was in good enough shape. Now, I've heard through the back channels that somebody who spoke to Ruben Foster that, he's excited about coming down to Miami and working out for us, and he thinks he can be a piece for the Miami Dolphins to use towards, making that playoff push and making a deep run in the playoffs. So, the guy I heard talk about it say that he's spoken to him and that, he's excited about it. He's ready to go. He's ready to get in here and cook. So we'll see if the Miami Dolphins get in here, work him out, and feel like he's a fit for the team. Hopefully he is, because I think that inside linebacker position is just something that's there's not a lot of depth there. Not a lot of depth there at all. So honestly, that's something I'd like to see. Definitely something I'd like to see. So Dolphins Thirsty said we did not sign Foster, right? So we did not sign him yet. Maybe did he post that he didn't get the job? Foster posted that he didn't get the job? Yikes. Ooh, man. So we must be being really selective about who we bring in. My man Wayne D says, all we need to do this year is run that damn ball and we will be unstoppable. There you go, Wayne D. Wayne D got the right type of energy. Let's go. Yes, sir. Hey, run that damn ball, man. Run that damn ball and we're going to be all right, man. Run that damn ball. Wayne D, you got the right idea, buddy. You got the right idea. What else we got? JPP still got Goods normal seat. Yeah, he took his seat. Hey, it's all right. You got to take that L, buddy. Take that L. Good. Cameron Good. Oh, EM Dolphin fan in the building. What's up with you, my boy? What's up with you, my boy? Raster, what's popping with you? What's good? He says, I'm with you, CB. Yeah, man, we got shafted, man. We got shafted. And even the Gator fans, he said I had to defend the Knowles, man. Appreciate you, Shake. Appreciate you. We got robbed without a gun, man. They took it. Jeez Louise. Oh, man, they said the link is trash. I got to – hold on one second. Let me send them boys a link real quick. Hey, but, yeah, man, we got robbed. Hold up, let me do this real quick. I got y'all boys. Give me 1 sec. All right, bet. All right. Racer said Alabama benched their trash quarterback several times this year. He's no better than our third string quarterback. That excuses. It is, bro. He said, notice they left any of that talk out of Hard Knocks. They did too. And when they were cutting to So the coaches were talking, and then as they would like get into like the good stuff, the camera would just cut. I was like, oh man. I was like, oh, them boys is about to really get after it in the film room. So that's something that I didn't like. But I mean, that's part of it. They don't want to give the teams advantage or give teams poster material for, for what they about to see. So people blowing me up right now. I sent the link again, champ. Send the link again. Hey, race is right. College football is rigged. That's why I don't even mess with that joint. I only watch Florida State anyways in the big games because it's a bunch of BS. All right. Anthony Manzano in the building. CB, I think lack of respect for both the whole team and to it's because we haven't beaten good teams and we perform poorly against them, but we win and blow out the bad teams no matter what we do. That's a good observation, Anthony. I like it. I mean, you're right. I mean, I don't think we played poorly against the Chiefs. I think we played like we were missing players against the Eagles, right? And I think we played like we were missing players against the Bills, which we were. We were missing Jalen Ramsey. In the Eagles game, we were missing X. In the Bills game, we were missing Connor Williams, our center. I think when you have games like that versus really good teams, and you have players out that are in key positions, I feel like you're gonna be at a disadvantage. And we were just at a disadvantage. No A-chain in those games. I think if you put the Miami Dolphins against all three of those football teams on the back end of the season, as we're going into the playoffs and we play them, I think we beat all three of those teams right now if we're healthy and we got everybody out there that we need. Now, I know you get into the playoffs, you may be down one or two guys, but you need most of your guys there. You need most of your dogs there, right? You got to have most of your dogs there. So I get what you're saying. I think that's a good observation, but I still think, I mean, we didn't have a lot. I feel like we didn't have a lot. And when you don't have a lot, I think it's tough. So yeah, that's what I think. That's what you're dealing with. I think that's what you're dealing with. Let me see. I see some other people in here. Casual Dolphin, what's popping? What's going on with you? He says he'll never take $4 million. AVG no less than $10 million. What? Really? Huh? $10 million? You're gonna pay AVG $10 million? He's just been a role guy. He's been a role guy.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Come on, man. We can't afford to pay guys like AVG $10 million. Come on, man. We can't do it. Can't do it. Foster posted himself, said he did not get the job. Yikes. Come on, man. He'll be a good backup till Baker returns. Yeah, I think so. I think he'll be suitable. Oh, look, I got the homie in the back. Yo, what's popping?
It's about time, CB. I've been only been trying to get backstage for an hour, bro. You slipping,
stop
man.
Lying, bro.
You slipping. You sent that bogus link. That shit, that was trash, right?
Oh,
so
man.
we've been waiting for, bro. We've been trying to pull up for an hour, bro. So we already know what time it is, though. We know you get a little uneasy when the EM come through here, bro.
Uneasy.
I make a lot of y'all. I make a lot of y'all in this community a little uneasy when EM pull up. So I understand, bro. I understand 100%.
What is EM talking about, guys? What is this uneasy EM about? What?
Yeah. You already know, bro. You already know how I move. So
Man, sit your dumb ass down and shut up.
All right, I got
what's
something for
good?
you.
What's good, man?
What's good, man? What's going on, man? Hey, you watch Hard Knocks yesterday?
Oh, hell yeah. You already know.
Yeah. What'd you think about it?
Man, I want to reiterate. I know I've said this many times, but man, I love this damn team, bro. Like,
bro,
I know I get
honestly,
on people.
Yes.
I know I get on people. I come at people's necks for being emotionally tied to players, but it's hard not to fall in love with not just Tua, but a lot of these players on this team, bro. Like Jalen Phillips, obviously Tua, even the coach, right? Mike McDaniel. I mean, it's hard not to be emotionally tied to a lot of these individuals, right?
Yeah, it's
But
tough.
with that being said, man, I love this team. I love the representation on and off the field. I love the talent level. I love the coaching philosophy. I love the coaching style. Everything about this team, I could not be more pleased with, bro. I'm just going to be completely transparent. But at the end of the day, in every episode, my love for this team and I'm hoping we can just truly maximize our, our talent level, because I think we can all agree. We can have disagreements about the team and players or whatever, but I think the consensus in our community right now is that we have the talent to compete and win at the highest level. So I'm just hoping and praying, CB, everybody in the chat, bro, that, man, we just in a position where we can truly maximize our potential, because if we truly do that, we're going to be hoisting that Lombardi trophy 100%.
Man, I think you're spot on. And honestly, and I usually don't agree with you because usually it takes is trash. But I mean, but you kind of spot on right now, man. And that's honestly, I was laying in bed last night watching it, and my wife was rolling over asleep. She usually watches it with me, but she was just super tired last night. And I was like, damn, I really do love this team, bro. And that's what I was thinking to myself after like watching them, seeing the relationships, seeing how they interact with one another. It's like you just have more of an appreciation for what they're building, right?
100%.
Because
100%.
it's not easy to build culture where it's a winning culture. Guys are having fun, and it looks like they enjoy themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
We look at guys like Bill Belichick, and we look at other organizations who did it differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
They built winning culture, but it was at the expense of having fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a business mentality.
100%.
And I've been in both, right? I've been in both cultures where it's fun sometimes, and then sometimes it's like, damn, I hate playing here, but we win games. I hate being here. I hate practicing. I love my teammates, but the coaches just create a terrible culture. Like it's just, it's just, you hate coming to work every day. But you got to appreciate what you're seeing, because when you can win and have fun and build culture and, let guys spend time with their families and enjoy time with family, it's a beautiful thing, bro. It really is.
I couldn't agree more, CB. And also, every episode, every time I watch this team on Sundays, every time I research like the off the field approach, not only with Mike McDaniel, but the GM Chris Greer on down. Well, really Stephen Ross from the owner on down. They're creating a culture, they're creating an environment that's not only can address the short term, but the long term as well, right? Yeah. I mean, it's sustainable. And you look at, and you go back to like the old 49er teams of the 80s. You look at like, the more recent Denver Bronco teams, like with John Elway and Terrell Davis and, grandfather Shanahan, you research the backgrounds of a lot of these teams, not only, obviously the philosophically there's commonalities between them, but when you research the off the field, the culture, the environment that they created for their teams, and it created not only, in the short term, but long-term sustainability, bro. Yeah. Success and sustainability. And I look at Mike McDaniel, you look at Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, bro, it seems like every year they're in contention. And that's really all you can ask of any coach. And Mike McDaniel has copy and pasted a lot of that formula, and he's, imprinted. He's put his fingerprint on. I'm not saying he's just a robot and he's a virtual carbon copy of Kyle Shanahan, but obviously he is adopted and integrated a lot of, things that he learned at his previous stops under Kyle Shanahan. But at the same time, he's putting his fingerprint on the team, on the culture, on the environment, on the front office, etc. And again, what I come away most encouraged about, not only in the short term, this addresses the long term, because that's sustainable. When you create a healthy work environment, your employees are gonna, more often than not, they're gonna, it's gonna be less distractions off the field. You know what I mean? And to your point about people getting up and really enjoying, it's one thing to go to work, right? We all gotta go to work. But it's another something totally different when you getting up at 5 o'clock when you hear that alarm and you have a little extra pep in your step and you are you can't wait to get to work. And that seems like the environment that he's created. Salute to him. Considering, salute to Mike McDaniel, and I couldn't be more pleased, bro. But it's a lot to be. What a time to be alive right now as a Miami Dolphin fan. Couldn't be happier with this team, bro.
Yeah, couldn't be happier. And I think, honestly, that's why the Miami Dolphins feel comfortable with doing a Hard Knocks, right? Because you have a guy like Mike McDaniel who's created a culture where, hey, guys can be themselves and you don't have to worry about the cameras. The cameras are just here, but we're still doing our thing. It's still the same thing.
100%.
So I think that's why the Miami Dolphins and Stephen Ross and Garfinkel are like, yeah, let's do it. And Mike McDaniels is on board because he knows, hey, I created a culture here where guys can be themselves. We aren't changing ourselves for the cameras. We're just going to continue to do our thing and keep doing what we do.
And McDaniel set the tone the first episode. You remember, he said, I'm not changing for shit. I ain't changing for nobody. It is what it is. Right. You either going to fuck with me, fuck with us, or you're not, period. But we're not changing. Exactly. So you got to, again, bro, he's 10 toes on his approach with everything related to this team on and off the field. And, bro, that needs to be respected. That needs to be commended, respected, appreciated. And, bro, like I said, man, every episode I come away with just falling in love even more with this freaking team, bro.
You do. And then, you're falling in love with the team and they're winning football games. And then you kind of see how it unfolds. And I was just talking about like the storyline, Phillips goes down. The perfect storyline happens. Van Ginkel steps up and has a fantastic game, has a fantastic week of preparation. You see his time with family. They're following his wife in their journey and her watching the game. So it was just cool to see, man. Really cool to see.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. What else did you want to talk about, man? I know you wanted to address some of this quarterback stuff, man. That's a lot of quarterback talk out here, bro.
Yeah, bro, man. It's just, I had private conversations with a few people, man, recently. And, it's just some things that's really been on my mind and in my spirit about, Tua, obviously, but also Brock Purdy in San Francisco. And again, I'm not in a position. I don't want this to sound like I'm in a position to try to defend other teams, other players, other fan bases, etc. But the same criticism that Tua has been encountering last year, this year, really his whole career, but last year, this year specifically, I kind of wanted to bring in a third party. Because I don't want to make it seem like at the end of the day, I don't want to defend other fan bases, but at the same time, I don't want to make it all about like I'm the biggest homer under the sun. Because I'm addressing what I'm frustrated with is the national media narrative driven that Tua, right, stylistically, that type of quarterback, Tua specifically, is more of a byproduct. While you're seeing an increase in production and his play on the field, it's 100% due to the byproduct of what is around him. And I just want to debunk that, do my best to try to, debunk that narrative because I never subscribed to that, right? The narrative that they bring up, and again, not only Tua, but Brock Purdy as well. It's like, they're trying to sell the narrative that no quarterback except these two quarterbacks, right? They are the ones, like, no quarterback needs help. No quarterback needs support in terms of coaching, in terms of scheme, in terms of personnel around them. They are acting like all of these other reputable names in the league, your Lamar Jacksons, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrows, Josh Allen's, etc. They're the only ones out there doing it. They're 100% the reason why they don't have support. They're doing it all on their own. And they're acting like, again, they're giving the perception that Tua and players like them stylistically, they're the ones that need the most help. And I just want to, I just never subscribed to that because, I'll be the first to say that first and foremost, bro, every quarterback needs support. Every quarterback. And I was listening to Louis Riddick, who I hold in the highest esteems in terms of any details, football related details in terms of personnel. He is at the top of the list in my estimation. And to hear him on not only Get Up, but First Take, he followed that up with First because he was on First Take as well. And he just obliterated that narrative. He was like, because again, they had their MVP watch list and Tua was not on it. And Brock Purdy was not on it. Yeah. They were not. Stephen A. Smith and Mad Dog Russo did not have, I think, Tua and Purdy on that list, right? And again, we all know the MVP is generally a quarterback-driven award, is it not?
So did they have Tyreek on the list?
Yeah, they had Tyreek on the list. Okay. Yeah, Stephen A. did. Okay. So, but we all know the nature of the award, the MVP award, and I'm not saying 100% it should be a quarterback-driven award, but that's generally how, what's been the case historically, right? You generally, because you always, like any other skill position, running back or wide receiver, that's why you have the Offensive Player of the Year award. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, they were saying, to hear Louis Riddick really come to the defense of not only Tua, Brock Purdy, just that style of quarterback is what the point that I got. It's somewhat a paraphrase, but that's the point that I was getting from him. That style of quarterback that relies more on that, kind of their approach is more how they win in this league is from the pocket. And he was out front, and he was very, profound in his position on why a lot of these narratives, again, addressing that style of quarterback, why they don't get a lot of respect that they deserve around the league. And I thought that, a lot of things that he said and touched on, I've been consistent about too. And to hear him say that, he put Tua on his list, Brock Purdy was on his list as well. And he was just going on, and he was just dropping a lot of educational, a lot of nuggets that I think a lot of people, if they get by their own personal biases, if they get can you hear me? Is my audio fine? Okay, my bad. So if people would just listen, what I always say, if you close your mouth, you listen, you learn something, right? So a lot of people need to put their personal biases aside and just really listen about the details as to why a lot of that narrative is wrong. We wouldn't necessarily have this level of, I call it disrespect, because that's exactly what it is. When you're sitting here and saying the level of play that you're seeing from Tua and Brock Purdy, and you're attributing that to just basically everything they have around them, I mean, bro, like, what world are we living in here? And so, it's just not. But you don't see it. It's just like you don't see it with other quarterbacks, like Joe Burrow. I had this conversation with somebody earlier, private conversation earlier. Look at their backup quarterback. Look at the game he had against the Jacksonville Jaguars Monday night, bro. He threw for over 300 yards. How many touchdowns did he throw for? I don't know, 2, 3? Yeah. And you don't hear a peep. That's the same system. Those are the same players that Burrow had the luxury of, had the benefit of being drafted into, right? But nobody ever tries to, Joe Burrow is a byproduct of what he has around him. But you're seeing the backup come in and being that efficient and putting up those type of numbers. So again, bro,
I'm with you wholeheartedly. I think it's so easy to diminish what Tua has done, because of how he played those first couple years, right? But that also shows his growth as well, right? Mm-hmm. So it shows his growth, right? But it also shows you that, hey, in these first 2 years with this coach, he wasn't a very great player, right? Now, I thought Tua was a really good player. I just thought, hey, Tua didn't have enough around him, right? Mm-hmm. But that was me. The national media didn't see it like that. The national media said, he's really not good enough. He's not elevating the guys around him. He's not, making the plays necessary to win games, right? And now I think they looked at those first 2 years and they're like, well, he didn't really start playing this well until he got with Tyreek Hill, right? And they're saying, well, it's only Tyreek. No, it's a combination of a lot of things. It's a running game now, right? A more consistent running game.
It's Tua acclimating to the NFL, actually learning how to read NFL defenses, right?
Yeah, it's growth. It's growth.
His own personal growth.
Right. And it's personal growth. And I think it's just easy for casual fans to be like, hey, Tyreek is doing all of this, right? But I mean, Tua's going to have a 2,000-yard receiver and a 1,000-yard receiver in Jalen Waddle. Like, when was the last time we seen that happen? Like,
never.
Like that's
never.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, how can you diminish what he's doing? Because he's, no matter what the coach is doing, of course, Mike McDaniel's trying to put him in a position to be successful because that's how you win games. But Tua still got to deliver, right? He still got to go out there and deliver and execute and make the plays, right? And we saw when we had Skylar Thompson in last year and Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, don't mention Skylar around your boy Lou. Oh, where Lou at?
Hey, Lou running.
Where that man at? He was pushing that Skylar narrative. But yeah.
I thought you was pushing that too. You weren't pushing that too?
No. I was just appreciative of what I was seeing in the preseason. I was very clear on that.
Hey, you was calling me too. You was like, man, CB, who is this kid, Skylar Thompson? I was like, bro, chill. He's a rookie.
Was he not impressive though in the preseason?
He was
that year.
I mean,
okay. Well, again, that's all I was doing was documenting what I was seeing. And now again,
it's one thing to do it in preseason, it's another thing to do it in regular.
And that's what I was clear on. I told everybody that. I said, bro, listen, y'all, like people that were saying he's QB1 and he should be the starter and all. Bro, I was emphatic on that. Bro, stop it. There's 3 seasons within one NFL season. The preseason, the regular season, and the postseason. And I'm like, bro, the level of difficulty is like night and day. So let's pump the brakes on calling him QB1 and just be appreciative of what we saw. Again, if he would have elevated his level of play and he became QB1, well, okay, I'll be supportive of him too. But at the end of the day, let's just be appreciative of what we're seeing now and just we'll see how the chips fall. But no, he's not. He shouldn't be nowhere near QB1. Tua is clearly the guy.
He's clearly the guy, right? Tua is clearly the guy. And I mean, when you look at what they did when they came in last year, they just couldn't get it going. They couldn't execute the same way. And I think a lot of guys will have, I don't think they would run the system the way Tua is running it right now, to be completely honest with you.
I think the level of efficiency it wouldn't even be close.
Yeah.
And I can't emphasize that enough. Like when we selected Mike McDaniel as a head coach, okay, a lot of people, and again, this no shot at you, CB, but this is where I push back on the narrative that Tua, all he needed was talent around him, because I think that's shortchanging and that's doing a major disservice to Tua.
And I don't think it's just talent, though. I think it's him, personal growth and scheme as well.
Exactly, but I put a little more emphasis on the personal growth and scheme, right?
Yeah.
So when we got Mike McDaniel, and again, to the point that we just alluded to, the offense wouldn't be as efficient. How Tua sees the field, right? The time frame in which he sees the field, how accurate he is, how his ability to consistently stay on schedule, those are all foundational principles of the West Coast format, right? I didn't say nothing. That's why they don't a lot of those coaches that have that, that teach that philosophy, they don't require arm strength and elite athleticism at the top of the list of what the criteria is that they require of that player.
Right.
And when we got Mike McDaniel, I thought that it could potentially be a big boom play for us, because again, you got to educate yourself on the principle itself, recognize and acknowledge Tua's skill set. And as long as Tua continues on that upward trajectory in terms of his own personal growth and development, this could have been, a major, major big plus for us. And that's exactly what it turned out to be. So
yeah.
At the end of the day, man, I'm glad, I'm glad to have Tua. I'm glad to have Mike McDaniel as a tandem, because I think they were both mutually, they've been beneficial to each other's careers, bro. So.
Oh yeah, no, hands down, no doubt. I think Mike McDaniel and Tua are really like a match made in heaven. And when you look at that, I don't think we see Tua playing to his, to this capability at this point, if Brian Flores is still the head coach here. But I mean, that's no knock. I think other guys, that's just how the game is. Some guys play well under certain circumstances and some guys don't. I think that's just the nature of it. But when you look at Mike McDaniel and the scheme he's brought in, it just fits Tua. It fits what he needs to do. Getting the ball out of his hands quick, operating, finding the open guy and delivering the ball right away. Pick a guy, let it fly type motto. It's just working out for us. And it seems like it's going to be sustainable if we just can continue to get better, continue to protect Tua, and just play good complementary football on both sides, defense and offense. I think the sky's the limit for this team. I really do.
100%. And again, I want to re-emphasize not only in the short term but the long term. I think the application that they've implemented can be sustainable, and as long as they continue to replenish the roster and through the draft, through free agency, through the undrafted free agents or what, et cetera, you got your quarterback in place, you know what I mean, for the foreseeable future. Again, it's what we're seeing now. And again, maybe we're not going to always have the level of talent that we have here, but as we lose talent from the defense, from the offense or whatever, as long as Tua, and again, people don't realize Tua's still just a 4-year guy. So there's still development that's needed. So as Tua elevates, he gets even more acclimated to the league, and his overall level of play gets better. Within the requirement for elite talent at certain positions aren't necessarily a requirement, right? You necessarily don't need that. So I don't think a lot of people really acknowledge and recognize and have a level of understanding of that process as well. So. But
I think people don't, and that's what I was saying the other day. I don't think people realize that Tua is still remotely a fairly young player in the NFL. Right? I mean, 4 years in, there's still a lot of growth, especially from the QB position. When you look at Tom Brady from year 1 to year 4, I'm sure you're looking at kind of a totally different player, and Drew Brees too. But I'm sure when you're looking at those guys into year 10, you're like, damn, they transformed a lot from year 4 to year 10. Like. Those are really huge leaps, and you see a lot throughout that time period. You learn a lot about the NFL. You learn a lot about reading defenses, a lot about how to, use leverage and, play calling, audibles, using hot routes. Like there's a lot of nuance that goes on into football. So you're also dealing with a lot of learning. So these guys are going to continue to learn each year as they go through the NFL. That's just the nature of the game. There's always something to learn.
And why we need to be all in, this is just relative not only to Tua, but a lot of any athlete, the fact that they're willing to attack the offseason just as hard as the regular season, that encourages me, because in terms of the long-term sustainability, that to me is the biggest indication of long-term success. When you never lose, you don't lose that drive, right? You attack day one at, the same as like day in your year 4, like you attack your craft as soon as you get drafted day 1, right? As soon as you step off the bus in Miami, you have that same level of fire. You have that same level of competitiveness. You have that same level of drive to be great. As long as that is maintained, bro, again, for Tua, the sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. T-Rich says Tua at 28 is game over. Can you imagine Tua at 28? Man, that's crazy. Because he's still a fairly young player, bro.
Yeah, and Tua has done a lot to, and again, a lot of in terms of.
Look who showed up, Ian. Look who showed up.
Who is that?
No,
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
No. What you need to do is put me back and give me a proper introduction. That's
who? No, you did right. Who is that? Who is that, CB? I don't know who that is, dog.
Shout out to the rabid Dolphin fan, the homie. Hey, Lewis himself. In the flesh showed up. What's good?
I don't know who that is.
Well, I had to come up. Y'all been loud and wrong for the past 15 minutes, so I'm coming.
So I heard you, bro. I heard you on Larry K's channel yesterday, being a Wolfpack, a Wolfpack person, just like you, bro. You took a setback. You took a setback yesterday.
Was he Wolfpacking? Was he Wolfpacking?
Straight Wolfpacking. I was like,
damn.
I was like, I thought Lou was better than this, man.
Oh,
first of all, I don't know what Wolfpacking is.
You know what that shit is. You know what that shit is.
He was Wolfpacking. Oh yeah, he hot right now. Oh yeah, you struck a nerve, CB.
I know.
Again, I don't know what Wolfpacking is. I'll leave that to y'all. I don't know what that is.
Oh, now you don't know. Okay, Mr. President.
Oh, okay. Well, call it what you want. Can I say what I said yesterday verbatim on your platform?
Go ahead. I please. I really want to know what y'all talk about. Go ahead, Lou.
Perfect. there was a guy, shout out to my man Anthony, he goes on Larry K's channel. He was up there giving his thoughts on Tua. And people, when you talk about Tua, I think we all three understand what it is. People hear what they want to hear. Anthony said that he believes that the Miami Dolphins are Super Bowl contenders. He believes you can win with Tua. He was just illustrating in some of the biggest moments we have seen that's where Tua kind of, I don't want to say plays horrible.
He said like shrinks.
Well, again, like, those are his words.
Come on now.
Okay, well, that's
let's
what he
not
was saying.
sugarcoat it.
Well, let me be very clear.
He was Wolfpacking. That's Wolfpacking.
Hey,
first of all,
can I just say this, Lou? Lou, can I just say this real quick?
Can I finish?
I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead, bro.
Thank you. The fact of the matter is, Tua Tagovailoa can lead this team. I think he should be the leader. I think we should move forward with Tua. But there is that box. He has to play better in the biggest moments. And again, the game against Philadelphia, the game against Kansas City, and the game against Buffalo are 3 losses this year. No one is saying that Tua played bad. For 2020 and 2021, Tua. It's not my fault. It's not EM's fault. It's not CB's fault. It's not no one's fault that last year Tua Tagovailoa himself put himself in the MVP conversation. It's not Lewis's fault, EM's fault, or CB83's fault that Tua this season is a MVP candidate. So if that's the case, now you're talking about elite level. And I will ask you two astute gentlemen, against Kansas City, against Philadelphia, against Buffalo, did you see elite play out of Tua Tagovailoa?
No, like.
Well, then what are we talking about?
All right,
then what are we talking about? You have to be,
because I don't think you look because I don't think you need elite every game, and I don't think that needs. I don't think you need elite every game. Right.
Well, okay. Let me address. Hang on, real quick,
what I'm saying. Hold up.
Okay, go ahead.
There's going to be games where you want to see the elite play, right, versus really good football teams, and I think that's still yet to come. I think you're taking a very small sample size and you're saying, hey, he hasn't been elite in these 3 games. You're also not taking into account he also didn't have a lot of his go-to guys in those games. Like Connor Williams not playing in the Buffalo game is a major factor. Ahmed not playing in those games are major factors. Like I think it's easy to say in those games because you don't have all your guys, right? And people talk about you needing quarterbacks do need things to go right around them in order to be successful, right? And when things are going bad, it's going to be very difficult to elevate your play when you don't have time. When you can't maneuver like you usually maneuver, when you can't operate the way you usually operate. Now, do I expect Tua to be better down the stretch when it comes to playing elite defenses or better defense? Of course. I think that's going to happen.
Okay. I'm glad you. I'm glad. Okay.
Bro, come on.
Okay, now happen. Listen. I want to be clear.
Yeah.
Hey, no.
You know where I stand. I'm just saying that. I mean. If you're going to say, hey, he's not elite in those games, you need to also say, hey, you're right. He wasn't elite, but he didn't have some things that he usually has during these elite performances, right? Ahmed played, not Ahmed, but Achane played on Sunday. You know, when he has these really good performances, he has his guys. Connor Williams is in there. His O-line was intact for the most part. So I think
Connor Williams was in there against Philly.
Yeah, he was in there against Philly. He wasn't in there against Buffalo. He wasn't in there against Buffalo.
Let me ask you a question. Terron Armstead got hurt against the Commanders this weekend, did he not?
Terron Armstead hasn't been playing.
I don't know nothing about that.
What you mean you don't? That's context, bro. Like, what you mean you don't know nothing about it?
No.
He hasn't. Has he been playing? Has he been playing elite?
I don't know nothing about that. What you're trying to paint the picture is
I'm trying to paint the picture that you need stuff to go right around you.
This is the problem. See, no. This is the problem right here that people can't be objective. And goddamn it,
that's being objective, bro.
That's not being objective. The fact of the matter is, when this team wins, It's Tua.
Who
Tua.
said
Hold
that?
on.
But see, that's
Everybody
the
says it.
problem.
That's a lie.
Who does
That's
that?
a lie.
Who does that?
Everybody. Look at the people in the chat talking about this is funny. This is ridiculous. See, when the team wins, there's no context. You don't hear about A-Chain. You don't hear about Terran Armstead. You don't hear about Hold on, CB.
So you didn't hear about
A-Chain?
You didn't hear about A-Chain?
Hold on. You hear Tua. But when this team loses, it is true. When this team loses, the narratives are on Monday morning, McDaniel has to do a better job coaching. The offensive line has to do a better job blocking. The running game, Jerome Baker is missing tackles. Those are the narratives when we lose. But when we win, it's Tua. And it's sickening. You guys got to get out your feelings. The fact of the matter is everybody should be on the same page, CB. We all agree Tua is the guy. Tua is the guy moving forward. And all the narratives about Tua, right? About the arm strength, about, he's a I think those are ridiculous. I'm with you arm in arm. But this narrative to make it seem like Tua has played at an elite level where, again, I'm tired of the elite games against the Carolina Panthers, the New York Giants, the Washington Commanders. When the moments present themselves, and I'm going to put EM on the spot here. EM, we've had conversations. Would you agree with that assessment? There is also one more box
you wolf packing, Lou.
You have to, again, when the moment. Why is it CB then? Again,
look. This is what I'm saying. Look, T Rich is saying it, bro. You wolf packing like.
I don't know who T Rich is. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. What I'm saying is. EM. So again, are you going to put skates on? Because EM,
you
I don't
can't
know
put.
in Texas.
Hang on, CB. Hang on, let him finish, CB. Hang on.
Are you putting skates on?
Yeah. Hell yeah, he is. And I don't know about.
I'm trying to figure out what it is that you with the question. I'm trying to figure out the question.
Well,
why Lou so mad, bro?
CB keeps trying to say, "I'm not mad. We're having a healthy discussion. I think this is great
Can I say something? Can I say one thing?
Well, you've been talking a lot. You ain't made no points yet,
bro.
What you saying?
See, he mad. He mad now.
What you saying?
He mad now. But
Lou,
this is what I'm saying. You got up on there last night. So the dude was saying, "Hey, the dude said Tua threw 2 bad deep balls to Tyreek Hill that were touchdowns." Did you hear him say that?
With that? And again,
who said that? Who said that?
Bro,
who said that?
Hey, who said that, Lou?
Anthony. But did you hear again, CB? Did
but
you hear me say that?
No. But he got up there, Lou, and he said. He said he threw 2 bad deep balls that Tyreek had to run down or that Tyreek had to slow down for. Bro, like, what are we talking about? Like, this is some of the stuff. But Lou, this is what we always heard in the community, and you gotta Lou, you gotta be real with yourself. There's a lot of dudes. It was a lot of dudes out here talking nonsense.
EM, don't bring up the casual chat. Them guys are casual.
Hey,
in there. Listen,
they tearing your ass up in that chat. God, they chopping your ass up in that chat, Lou. They killing you in that chat, bro.
Hey, don't kill Lou. Don't kill Lou.
Well, again, listen. This is what I'm not going to be a part of. If we want to have a fluff channel that just
I'm with it, Lou.
Just wants to talk about the positives and the happy-go-lucky, and you guys want to chase the rainbow after you eat your Lucky Charms, be my guest. I'm just not that dude. I ain't that dude.
Okay.
Chop, nigga. Chop.
Hey, you a damn fool. Hey, but what I'm saying is, Lou, I get what you're saying to a certain extent, right? But I don't think it's a lot of. You say everything is Tua. It's a lot of Tyreek too. You got to admit it's a lot of Tyreek talk, and I don't think Tua. I think Tua is kind of flying under the radar. I think he's just doing his job. I don't think the national media talks about Tua like he's that dude. I think Miami Dolphin fans who are trying to rub it in the faces of the Wolfpack may say, hey, Tua's playing a hell of a game. Like, he's playing well. But I don't think the national media or anybody of stature is really out there banging the table for Tua being that dude right now. Bro, it's really only Miami Dolphins fan that's saying he's playing well enough. I mean, I don't think that. I don't think that's crazy.
Okay, well, let me tell you why it sounds crazy to me. because people just hear what they want to hear. Again, the people in the chat that are EM says is Cooking Lewis. They're just hear what they want to hear. Not once today have I shitted on Tua Tagovailoa.
No, you haven't. You haven't.
Okay,
you
perfect.
Haven't.
You said everybody in the national media don't give him credit. Have you heard Louis Riddick talk about Tua Tagovailoa?
There's a couple people here and there. There's
There's
Dan Orlowski.
There's Emmanuel Acho.
There's Acho, and then there's Louis Riddick. Who else is
nobody
there?
Again, CB. But then you see
everybody else is against them. They're on the other side of the fence.
What does Stephen A. Smith matter?
What do you mean? He's the most vocal. He's the biggest voice in the national media. What are you talking about?
Okay, cool. Guess what? This is what I want people to understand. I'm going to tell you what I'm saying. Maybe
Shannon Sharp works. All these
guys. Cool.
Huge voices. Huge voices.
Let me ask you a question, CB.
Yep.
If they think he's trash, right?
And they don't think he's trash. They don't. It's not that they think he's trash.
If they don't believe, okay, whatever it is y'all want to make believe
it
is. I don't care about none of that. If they don't believe, guess what? Is that going to make Tua play worse?
It doesn't matter either way, Lou.
No. I'm asking you, CB. If they came out and they asked and they said everything positive about Tua, is that going to make Tua play better?
It wouldn't affect Tua at all.
So then, what does it matter? Is what I'm saying.
Because you're saying, Lou, what you just said. You just said Tua gets all the credit when the team wins, and I don't think that's the case.
And again, bro, I'm talking about the people that matter. This community.
You're talking about people in this community.
The people that me, you, EM, we interact with every day. Dude, CB, how many interactions have you had with Shannon Sharp?
But you know I'm the biggest Tua guy out here, right? And I don't come out. Look, and I don't come out and say, "Oh, Tua."
No, you're not. Stop that. No, you're not. Stop it.
Bro,
no, you're not. But go ahead.
Tua, my guy, Tua Leroy.
You ain't the biggest Tua guy. Stop it.
I'm one of the biggest Tua guys in the community. But I don't come out here and be like, oh, Tua did everything he did about. No, I know it's a team game. Casual fans who are just not watching the film, who are not evaluating it based on what they see on the film, will say, oh, Tua. But it's a lot of run game, a lot of scheming, a lot of play calling. It's a lot of underneath, a lot of taking the top off the defense, and Tua making the throws necessary to win the game, right? I mean, Tua only had 25 attempts last game. Which is where he should be, right? But the run game was a lot more effective than anything, right? I mean, you gotta put it into perspective. I don't take those people serious, Lou. Who are just screaming to.
So wait a minute. So we want people in the national media to talk about a balanced team and to talk about all the run game. What are we talking? Like, what are we even talking about here? I don't get what you just said,
bro. I know. From my perspective, that this team is very balanced. They win when they're balanced. They win when they're running the ball and passing the ball. Right? The national media will say, "Oh, Tyreek Hill made the huge plays. Tua Tagovailoa made some good throws to Tyreek Hill." Right? That's what they see because they see the highlights, bro. I'm not
because they're casual. It's unfortunate that the audience base is 90% casual, bro.
Right, and I'm not basing my take.
So they're placating. So if they sit there and really be more detailed and really put up all 22, the casuals are going to tune that out because they have no understanding of the details specifically about football, bro.
Exactly. It's the nuances of it, bro. I'm not
placating
why are
we talking about the national media? I'm talking about the people. Let's talk about what's on this panel right now, the three gentlemen, right? Or the two gentlemen and myself and everybody in the chat. That's who I'm talking about.
And everybody in the chat, there's a lot of people in the There's a lot of people in the chat who understand what's successful on this football team.
No, they're casuals. They're dead-ass casuals. The same thing that these people cry about in the national media is the same casuals we deal with on a day-to-day basis.
I think there's some truth to that for sure.
But there are some casuals in the fan base, but I mean, you gotta put it out there. Everybody's learning too, right? I mean, not everybody's gonna be able to just get up here and break down film, but know the nuance of the game. Some people don't have time for that. A lot of people work jobs. Damn, T-Rich calling you a casual. That's messed up, T-Rich. A lot of people work jobs and have other stuff going on, bro.
God. Well, hey, them motherfuckers got them Ginsus out tonight, boy, because they got them Ginsu knives out.
I might have to drop bro. T-Rich might need the link.
They are
T-Rich.
chopping Lewis's ass up.
Stop,
God
EM. Stop.
damn.
EM, why you?
And
Bro,
I'm glad. And I'm glad. CB, don't worry. EM ain't gonna get me hype. I'm not hyped today. I'm not going at these damn idiots in the chat.
Turn up, nigga. Turn up. Turn up.
All I want to say, so I can prove my damn point, right? About T. Rich, right? Ain't T. Rich an Alabama fan?
He is.
So he is.
He is. Yeah, Alabama fan.
Don't let that casual ever come up here and talk to me. The man is not even a Dolphin fan. The man is a Tua fan, right? That lives, breathes. What did I just say? It's Tua. T-Rich is the definition in Webster's dictionary. If you opened it up, it says Tua is T-Rich's. That's what to call.
Yeah.
He's an Alabama fan, CB. How are we supposed to take CB? I'll ask you the question. How are we supposed to take T-Rich serious if he is a self-admitted Alabama fan?
Because I think, look, I think some of those guys can come into the fan base and be objective about what they're saying. I feel like even if you're an Alabama fan and you're only here because of Tua, you can still say, hey, Tua didn't play well last game. You can still critique him and say, he didn't elevate the Miami Dolphins last game. I mean, I think you still can have those conversations with guys who are strictly here because of Tua.
And when I did that yesterday, see, this is the problem. When I did that yesterday on the panel, right, where I was critiquing.
What did you do yesterday on the panel?
Hold on. This is the perfect example. I'm glad you just spoke, CB, because you were just saying whatever it is you were just saying, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was doing the same thing you were just talking about. I didn't kill Tua yesterday. I started yesterday by saying, I believe in Tua. I believe in this team. I believe in Tua should be the guy moving forward. I believe this team is a legit Super Bowl contender. I said those four things, and then I gave my opinion of what I think Tua in some of the biggest moments should do. Now, CB, when I first got on the panel, what did you say I was doing last night? Wolfpacking, right?
Yeah, because you kind of look because
I didn't do nothing wrong.
Look, all right, so look, I'm not gonna put the narrative out. Look, here we go.
If you say anything about Tua, you get again. If you're trying to be objective,
there's some truth to that. There's definitely some truth to that.
You come out and people like you, CB, come out and call us haters.
But you trailed. Look, this is what happened. You trailed a guy who was really wolfpacking, right? And you got up here and said. You got up there and said, "Hey, Tua's playing good. He's doing his thing, but I agree with Anthony somewhat." Right?
Because I did.
And right. Aspect. And look, and you agree with him. I don't know which aspect you agree with him on, but a lot of the shit he was saying was wolfpacking. Right? It was a lot of
Tua's. You wanted to hear.
It was a lot of bro. I'm just telling you. It was a lot of Tua isn't good enough.
That was Anthony Manzano that was up there.
No. This dude is totally different. I've argued with this dude a couple times about Tua. He said Tua would never be good enough. Blah blah blah. He doesn't like Mike McDaniels. A lot of different stuff he says.
Who is that idiot?
Yeah. This is somebody else. This is somebody totally different. But that's who Lewis. Chose to go up and prop up. This dude who said he doesn't like Mike McDaniel, he doesn't like Tua, he doesn't watch Harden. He said he doesn't watch. He doesn't. No, you didn't say that. I'm just saying.
So then, what are you talking about? How did I defend him?
I'm saying. You said you agree with what he says.
The big game narrative. Again, you're doing it again, CB. Don't do that. Because then you have these people in the chat that will run with it.
So you were saying the big game narrative, but what he was saying was a lot of. He said he doesn't like Mike McDaniel. He said
How can I control what he?
I'm not saying you can control him. I'm just telling you what he said.
But you said I was wolfpacking.
No, bro, I said you was wolfpacking because you jumped on the he hasn't done it in big games narrative, and you roll with it.
And that's the case. But that's the case. It's the truth. How is that wolfpacking if it's the truth?
Because I don't necessarily there's context there. Yeah, I think there's context there for us to say that.
Well,
but let me get Big Nick in here. Big Nick, what's good with you? I wanted to get you on. What's good with you, real quick?
Hey man, well, I was the one on the panel that Lewis.
Oh yeah, Luke. Yeah, Big Nick was there. You was there.
I think the wolfpacking. What you're saying is wolfpacking. Is asserting that every Tua supporter gives him credit for every Miami Dolphins win, which is completely untrue. I think the whole thing starts from the beginning of people that support Tua. We was always talking about Tua's talent. We was never talking about his production or what he can do on the field. For people calling him trash, we was defending his talent. We always saw his talent. That's what people was defending. And it was putting, I think in the beginning, you guys was expecting too much too fast for a team that has literally tore down his entire roster. You wanted Tua to come out and be Joe Montana off the rip. And that set up the narrative what you guys have today.
I think that's fair.
No, I got to push back a little bit on.
I don't agree on that.
All right, so here we go.
Well,
so I'm gonna let Ian.
That's another thing, Lewis. Because somebody doesn't agree with your take, that makes them a casual. That's unfair.
I agree with that.
And you're absolutely right. Nick, haven't I heard you be in the chat labeling
100%.
Haven't I heard
100%
as haters and all kind of stuff just because they don't agree with your narrative?
100%.
Hold on.
You tried to label me as a hater, bro, just because I pride myself on being the most objective individual with this team, not only with Tua, but this team.
But Ian,
you label me as a hater, bro.
But Ian, there's been times where you haven't been as objective.
No, bro. No. When can you name the time when I haven't been? When? When was that?
I think
this was the difference.
Hold on.
Go clip that video up. Go clip the video up and show me when I have never been objective.
Hold on. Hey, come on, let's have a real grown man conversation. Let's do it.
You know,
Big Nick, go ahead.
You can be very knowledgeable on football, and you may have a certain bias against a player, and I call you a hater. That's how I see it. But that has nothing to do with you being a casual. So for you to compare the two, to call a fan a casual is the lowest thing you can call a fan. So that's why you use it in that aspect.
But Nick, here's the thing, right? Again, I'm not attempting to speak for Lewis. I can only speak for myself. When I coined that phrase in this community, right? I'm the one that coined that phrase, casual, as many others, right?
You coined it?
So, absolutely. So, nobody saying a damn thing about casual till I debuted in 2019, right? Bro. So, at the end of the day, my approach, why I labeled people that is this. And I'm not saying I know everything. I'm learning every day about this game just like everyone else. However, when I sit there and we could this is just not relative to it, this is any fucking player. When I'm sitting there and we're going and you bring film, you bring analytics, you bring everything, right, that people get paid millions of dollars to bring into the equation of evaluation. When I'm bringing that as to support my argument about a player, and you get people that sit in the chat, right, that don't know a goddamn thing about this sport, right, on my level or anybody else's level, but they sit here in their feelings about Tua because I like Tua, but my narrative, and again I've got all these things to support my narrative. Because they like Tua and they deem if I'm more critical to that particular week, they immediately deem that as hate, and those are the casuals, right? As opposed to educating yourself on what people, not just myself, but other people in the community, right? On ESPN or not, on YouTube. Yeah. When you sit there and you just try to rebut everything a person is saying based off your feelings, I'm sorry, you're a fucking casual, bro. That is very applicable, and I don't deem that as being disrespectful when you call people out, especially when people get defensive and they start ridiculing people.
Can I address that from an objective point of view, right? So if you continue to come on and you issue your opinion or you state facts about QB1 constantly, whether it's good or bad, whether you have supportive things to say or you have negative things to say about QB1, right? We get to the point where we love this team and we want to hear the negative and the positive about Robert Jones. We want to hear the negative and the positive about Raekwon Davis. We want to hear the negative and the positive. It's not you guys, not you guys. I'm sorry, I apologize. Not you guys, but the people that's pushing those types of narrative are only talking about Tua. And that makes people like CB and myself come out and try to kill their narrative so we can set that aside and let's move on to criticizing the rookie. Let's criticize Channing Tindall. Give us an opportunity to defend these players as well.
Well, at the end of the day, I think I prided myself in trying to do that, right, in the past, right, going back to 2020, 2019. But there are people, y'all don't, Tua's just the top, he's, you know, his name, Tua Tagovailoa, is extremely.
But
What's
you
that?
drive the car, buddy. You have the name. You have the voice. You drive the car. You set the destination. Your job is to kill that narrative and to move on. And if they want to continue with that narrative that you've already killed, you drive the car.
No. The responsibility of anybody that, again, you know what I've said? I've been consistent about this, whether you own platform or not, whether you own ESPN or not. Right, is to present facts, is to present objectivity. That is the responsibility. Now, I'm not here to debunk narratives. I let the film speak. I let the analytics speak. Now, if it so happens to debunk a narrative about a player, so be it. But I'm not here. I'm not in the business of trying to debunk narratives. I'm just here to present the facts.
Well, I think that's part of it. I think presenting facts is part of it, and I think your facts sometimes end up debunking narratives. Right, I think that's a part of it also. So, I mean, I agree with you guys, and I think this whole Tua dynamic in the community, bro, it started a long time ago, and we're here now, right? We're here.
Yeah.
Tua's playing good football. I think we can all appreciate what we see from Mike McDaniel. I think we can all appreciate Tua's growth, his personal growth as a player, and as a professional, right? I think that's part of it. But when I see people still harping on the throws that he's making, right? When I see a dude get up there and say, "Oh, he threw 2 bad long balls to Tyreek Hill and they both went for touchdowns," I just it irks me. It bothers me. And honestly,
CB.
But hold on. But EM, it shouldn't bother me, right? Because I know the dude's a casual, and I know he has no idea what he's looking at. But it still bothers me, right? because I know the game so well. Because I know, hey, Tua is basically throwing the ball away from the safety to keep Tyreek from getting his ass clocked or from there being an interception. So there's a reason why he's throwing the ball where he's throwing the ball.
Tyreek said it in real time. He said it himself in real time.
CB, real quick.
Go ahead,
this is the root cause of a lot of this division, right? You get this idiot Bill's fake crowd noise. Pull this comment up. Hang on real quick. EM, you just never, this is what he said. EM, you just never pick a side so you can't be accused of being wrong. See, this is what who is in the business of picking sides? My approach has always been, I present the film, I present facts, I present the analytics. I don't care about picking sides, bro. The side that I'm on is the Miami Dolphins. It's not an individual player. It never has been, never will be. Why won't you idiots freaking understand that, bro? But that is the root cause. You got to pick a side. You got to pick a freaking side.
But this is the conversation that needs to be had, right? Right. There were guys saying, "Hey, Tua can't throw off platform," right? And that was the case. I mean, let's look at this comment. And I don't know if this was you, EM. I don't even care if it was you who said this. It really doesn't bother me at all, right? Don't make me none. But what I'm saying is, at the time, Tua struggled throwing off platform.
Because of what? Of what?
But there could have been his body physically.
100%, right?
There's a lot to that, right? Now, if you say Tua can't throw or he's struggling off platform, you got to give him the opportunity to grow and get better there, right? What we've seen this year is that Tua is throwing much better off platform.
And because of what? Because his improved health, we can all agree he is the best version athletically of himself that we've ever seen, even going back to before he got injured at Alabama.
Yeah.
I agree. Even if you take away his health at the time, his body at the time, right? Then you got to go back and say, in high school or at Alabama, when the hell did Tua ever have to in his life throw off platform?
Right.
You know what
That's
I'm saying?
true.
Like,
That's true.
it's like,
I mean, at Alabama, he didn't have to throw off platform. He sat there like a
But
statue
he made,
in the
but
pocket
there were
and made
again,
plays.
but again, he did put that on film. He had some film out there of him making off-platform throws at Alabama.
Yeah, well, okay, you understand what we're saying in the whole,
Yeah,
in the
but you get what we're saying.
in the macro of it. You think Derrick Henry had to seriously work on juke moves?
Well, so what you mean is was that was that a strength of his game? No, he didn't have to rely on that. No, that wasn't that wasn't the focal point of his game. No, but he did put that on film at Alabama.
Right, I mean, you're gonna run around once or twice, but he said at Alabama, and I find this to be amazing that he never had to know who the Mike was. Because you ain't getting back there. We got an all-pro offensive line. You're not getting back here. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? We got Devontae Smith. It doesn't matter who your Mike is.
But see, some of that stuff does bother me, right? because I coached at the high school level, and it's like, bro, if I'm teaching my guys to identify Mike and to be able to point out who Mike is and be able to communicate protections, when you get to the college level, you should be able to enhance that. And when you get to the pro level, it should be just a little bit of speeding up the process. Like, that's something that players, if you're a student of the game and if you're serious about playing the position, that's something you got to be able to do, right? And 100%. I don't think it was necessarily that Tua couldn't do it. I just don't think he was, I don't know, maybe forced to do it.
He didn't have to do it. He didn't
have to. And that is I could not agree more. Yeah, absolutely. But you see him now, right? Given that additional responsibility, he's able to do that. We've seen him. We saw it Sunday checking in out of plays on Sunday. We've seen him do that.
You're stupid if you blitz Tua.
But the issue is the problem, and going back to 2019, 2020 pre-draft before we drafted Tua, and again, people were so quick to say that he will never be able to do this.
That's a problem.
He will never be able to do that. And that's why I cautioned everybody. I was like, bro, this is a first, second, third year guy that you're evaluating here, saying that he will never be able to do X, Y, and Z based off 3 years. They're evaluating him like he's a 12-year veteran. And again, you can be critical. You can critique his game, the inconsistencies that you can document all of that information in his rookie year, his second year, third year, etc. You can do that. That's responsible. That's a responsible approach to any level of evaluation. But never get into the point we'll say, well, he will never be able to do X, Y, and Z, and they're going the third year, going into the fourth year. Like, who does that?
And I think that was my biggest thing, right? With people in the community, you're using basically words like never, always, right? Trash. Like, I mean, and Lou, I saw you shaking your head. What's your thoughts? I know
can I speak? Because I haven't said not one word. I didn't cut nobody off. Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Lou. The floor is yours.
All you guys are doing, again, is spinning y'all's narrative the way y'all want it. But y'all ain't calling it down the middle. Because at the same time, which I agree with everybody, those things were happening. Does everybody remember in his rookie season that you guys are telling me all this, again, all these excuses and what people were saying, oh, he can and he won't. And you're absolutely right. Against the game, his rookie season against Arizona, where he played very well.
That's my game.
There were people in the community, right, that were calling him after that game. There were people that were coming out here and telling all of us, he's elite, he's arrived, he can do no wrong, he's perfect. Can we agree on that?
So I don't think. Look,
no, don't say so. You were real quick to say that you had a problem with all the other shit. Do you remember that where people were saying after the Arizona game, he was elite, he has arrived, he's the best thing coming?
There was a lot of people saying that. There was a lot of people saying that.
So then what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Because the Arizona game.
You're just telling me that people have a narrative. People have
let me do this, because me and Lou directly had this.
Well, that goes both ways, Lou. That goes both ways.
Hold up.
I need to refresh his memory.
Hold up, Big Nick. Hold up.
It does go both ways. EM, you're right. It does go both ways. But you, CB, and Nick only brought up the other way. No one brought up the second.
How long have you? Hey, hang on, Nick, Lewis. Well, I don't think that applies to me. And again, I'm not attempting to speak for any other grown people, right? That definitely don't apply to me, because I know how long you've been listening, how long you heard my voice, bro. I think I've been consistent on that point, addressing both sides, bro. So that's I don't even know. I can't even believe you fixed your you fixed your lips. You fixed your mouth to the point where you let that come out of your goddamn mouth about me, bro.
Oh my
Really?
God.
All right. Let me get in. Let me get in. And again,
Hold up, Big Nick. Hold up. Go ahead, Lou.
I didn't say EM's name. I just said what I had heard. When did I say it?
Just now, right before EM started talking. You said EM, CB, and Nick.
Right.
You said you three.
You said we've never brought it up. You said we didn't bring.
In this conversation, what person brought up a narrative that was people were saying on the see again, everybody has a problem with the people.
Okay.
Again,
I'm going to answer that.
Nick
I'm going to answer that.
CB,
I think you know I can answer that. That's why you don't want me to answer that.
All right, hold on.
I don't want you to talk over me because when you have already talked 3 times, I set my happy ass on mute and didn't say nothing.
Give him a chance to talk.
That's why I'm not letting you talk. No, go ahead, man. Y'all, we can do this again. I don't even know what we're doing, but go ahead. Go ahead, Nick. Take over the show and tell everybody what a Dolphin fan you are and how much you believe in this team.
So I'm going to kill the narrative. I'm going to kill the narrative right now of Tua when he wins, right? Because you brought up the Arizona game. You brought up the Arizona game when he was a rookie, and you said we was like Tua. A year later, in the Atlanta game, where Tua threw an interception, got the ball back, gave the team a lead, and the defense didn't hold on to the lead, and it was Tua threw interceptions. So you, not you, I don't want to say you, but people that support that Tua narrative also is the main reason that narrative is out there, because it's people like that who keeps Tua, or Tua lost the game. Tua, or either Tua lost the game. You can't have it both ways.
And this is my thing. To call it down the middle, right, is to say, hey, yeah, Tua's had some rough moments in his rookie year. Definitely had some rough moments. But what I was excited about coming away from the Arizona game is that, man, he flashed that he could go toe-to-toe with one of the best quarterbacks in the game at the time in Kyler Murray. Like, you can go down the stretch, play into the fourth quarter, make plays you need to make off platform with your feet, running the ball when you need to run the ball. And that's what I saw from that game. I don't think anybody was calling Tua elite based on that game.
No,
I think
the responsible people were encouraged about what the flashes they saw in that game, which is what you want a rookie player to be doing at that time, at that stage of their development.
Right. And that's all we were excited about, is that he flashed that sign of greatness that we had not seen yet. Like, perfect. That's all we were excited, and I was excited about that. Perfect. I thought that was his best game. I thought that was Tua's ceiling, basically, is being able to play like that.
Cool.
And,
cool.
Right. And that was my thoughts.
And I'm with you. Perfect. You guys illustrated it. I'm with you. Right. So in year 4 against Kansas City, when the opportunity presents itself, I expect my MVP candidate. Right, the quarterback that is playing at an elite level, I expect him on 3rd and 10 to hit Cedric Wilson streaking down the field wide open.
But the current MVP didn't do that.
There's some truth to that.
But in the same game, the current MVP didn't do stuff like that.
I was talking. Nick started cutting me off.
Go ahead, Lou.
In the same game, the current MVP didn't do any of that.
Big Nick. Go ahead, Lou.
Turn up, Lou. Turn up.
Please stop, Ian. Damn, bro. Can we have a cordial conversation, dog?
In the same game in Kansas City, right? Waddle was streaking down the field at the seam wide open. Tua didn't even turn his head to look that way. If you go back and the CB, you're the film guy, right? Throw on the film. Let's break it down. I bet you people up here don't want to do that.
But first off, that is not true.
Hold on, Lou. You're picking out a couple. Bro, you just said you were done. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. No, go ahead. Y'all got it. I agree.
No, go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
It sounded like he was finished. Go ahead.
How did it sound like I was finished? When I was saying that Jalen Waddle was streaking down the seam, Tua didn't even turn his head to look that way. There was no pressure on Tua.
You said
there was none at all.
That's what you said. Yeah.
Okay, so why? Just like you guys said, you felt a certain way in year one against Arizona because you seen those things, and I said I get it perfectly fine.
Mhm.
So why in year four then of his development, right? In year four, where he's put himself in the MVP conversation, if I highlight a play like that or a missed throw that he had to Cedric Wilson, why does that make me a hater or a wolf packer? Why
I
does it
don't
make it
look. When you
have the right
highlight,
to feel a certain way, but a guy like me, I can't have that right because now I'm a hater? See how it works?
but see, I wasn't
Ain't that the
saying
definition of hypocrisy?
I wasn't saying you were a hater because I was saying the guy was a hater because he said the 2 touchdown throws were bad passes.
That guy is not up here. And when
Right,
I got
right.
up
But
here,
what
you
I'm
said
saying
I
is,
was
Lou,
a woodpacker.
Look, when you pick out plays,
I know.
like when you pick out 1 or 2 plays to justify a narrative about a guy, it's kind of hard for me to take you serious. I think.
Okay.
I think.
We just have to. So what
I think you have to look. There has to be a larger sample size.
Those 2 throws, so we can't worry about those 2 throws. We just worry about everything he does good. We talk about that.
No,
And just leave the other shit alone.
I think it's a fair criticism. I just don't think you can make.
So then why?
I just don't think you can judge. I don't think you can judge him. I think you can say, "Oh, I want him to step up."
What do you mean we can't judge him? Listen to how this sounds. What do you mean we can't judge him? What does that even mean? So
because
we can't judge
you can't judge them based on 2 throws. You can criticize him and say you want him to be better, but you can't come to a judgment on him as a player.
But here's the thing:
you can't.
Hang on. Let me jump in here real quick because I want to address what you just said, CB. Well, here's where you can judge the player, right? Off 2 plays or 3 play, bro. You got
what's in the last series of the game? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm evaluating.
Man, what happened to EM, bro? EM, come back up, bro.
Is those 2 throws while he's doing that? Is those 2 throws right? Does that override the Baltimore game last year?
Absolutely not.
So,
but I'm not making it seem again, Nick. See, this is what you guys want to hear.
I didn't make it seem like that for you. I just asked the question.
He's just like all he did was ask the question.
And I said no. But what?
So why doesn't it override that?
Because that Baltimore game, he put the team on his back and he led us to victory. How can those 2 overthrows? But that's what I'm saying, CB. Again, I'm not trying to get mad. So I'm not even mad.
He's done it before. So he's done it before, right, Lou?
And CB, we've had conversations over the
phone. Yeah, of course we have.
You know
we've
how
had,
I feel.
Bro, we've had conversations.
Yeah. And again, you know how I feel about Tua. What I'm saying is, right, this is what you guys are missing. Even with that, what I just said about those 2 throws, when in that statement did I say Tua didn't play a good game? I said it wasn't elite because, again, when those moments arise, he just has to be at his best physical performance. That's what we all want. That's not me hating on him. That's not me saying I don't believe on him. That's just me saying, man, when the moments arise and the plays there to be made, I expect my MVP, the leader of our team, to make that play. How does that make me a hater?
I'm not saying it makes you a hater. I'm just saying, and it's fair. I think it's fair to point out. Hey, in the most critical moment of that Kansas City game, we didn't make the plays necessary. I think there's other stuff that goes into that. Do I think they were on the same page in terms of the route? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it to me. Right? It doesn't seem like they're on the same page in regards to the route. So if that's the case, I'm not going to use that play as I'm not going to point to that. I'm not going to point to that play and say, "Oh, it's something he needs to fix late in the game."
I thought about that narrative as well, right? But then Lewis also included. See, remember, you and I, we're detailed, we're nuanced guys, and Lewis did include a nuance into that statement when he said there was no pressure on Tua. So even if Jalen ran the wrong route with no pressure, he's supposed to find him. So we could go down that route.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of.
But part of the problem. Hold on, Lewis. Part of the problem with this whole Tua narrative is that a lot of the quarterbacks that guys compare Tua to, right? doesn't get the same. And the easy cop out is to say I'm not worried about those teams, but those are the guys you was comparing Tua to, not you, Lewis, in particular.
Yeah, but
Okay,
people in the community. Yeah.
but right, and then the MVP of the league, the current reigning defending MVP of the league, had a worse game than Tua in that same game.
And I agree. But all I'm saying is to that, right?
So
And
it happens. It happens under the bright lights, Lewis.
I think so too.
Again, and that's fine. That could be the case. But I'll use your words that you tell me all the time, Nick. I'm not a fan of KC or Buffalo or Philadelphia. So
That's
I
my
don't
easy
care
cop
what
out.
I don't know. I don't care about what those quarterbacks do. I only care about what Uno does because I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, right?
But you have compared Tua to those quarterbacks.
What I'm saying is, how many times have we heard this argument right here?
We've heard it a lot.
And again, not any of you guys up here, right? But the narrative that goes around the community and in the national media, since y'all want to have the national media conversation. Well, the Miami Dolphins are too Tyreek Hill centric. The ball only goes to Tyreek Hill. They're Tua, all he does is look for Tyreek Hill. We've all heard those narratives, correct?
Which is blasphemy.
Well, again, it's blasphemy, right? But when you watch the film, CB, and you've seen this, the play I illustrated with Waddle streaking up the sideline, if River Craycraft is coming to open underneath, if Mostert is in the flat and he's open, and Tua don't get on the ball, it's easy for that narrative to be put out there, right? That Tua, all he's doing is looking for Tyreek Hill. Because if the film is dictating and showing that there are other options on the field, but that ball doesn't go there, what are we supposed to do with that?
I think that's fair, and I think that's a happy medium. I think there's a fine line between throwing to Tyreek too much and not using him enough. I think that's just the nature of having a guy like Tyreek on your roster, right? You pay him $30 million, you want to get the production out of him, right? You know he's the most dynamic player with the ball in his hands, but you know forcing him the ball could cause you issues, right? So, I mean, it's a catch-22. It's the gift and the curse, right? But it's the gift has been giving us a lot. It's the gift that's kept on giving. Giving the ball to Tyreek has won us games offensively.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, and I think that's the nature of the game. Stephon Diggs wants 10 targets a game. He wants the looks. I think the best wide receivers in the game, the Justin Jeffersons, they want the ball in their hands. And I think teams force those guys the ball because they know they can make dynamic plays. So I know Mike McDaniel is trying to manage both. But what I do understand is that Mike McDaniel has committed to the run game a lot more than he did last year. And it's paying dividends in regards to us as a football team and as an offense. So I'm just happy with where we are. I am. But I understand what you're saying. There's a lot to criticize, right? There's always going to be room for criticism. There's always going to be Tua can be better in certain areas. Even if he goes out and plays a good game, there's going to be throws where he missed during the game. There's always going to be plays he missed or something he could have called differently. I think that's the nature of the game, bro.
Absolutely. And I agree with that.
And I think that's the beauty in it, though.
Right. And I would agree. But the same things we're having these conversations about. I mean, look at the chat. Look at what people are saying, right, about me. And I will ask.
Bro, nobody's caring. Nobody's saying anything about you, right? Who says
No. Everybody.
If you talking about
wrong, Lewis is dead.
If you talking about Lewis right now being wrong, I think y'all dead wrong. I think Lewis has some valid points.
Everything Lewis is saying, he can go back and point to it. It's just that you guys don't like the way he's saying it or he's pointing out the criticism. I can have the criticism of Tua. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't personally criticize him, because I'm a crazy Miami Dolphin fan. But I understand the criticism, and I welcome criticism. It's okay.
But how many times do I have to go on a panel or, again, CB, private conversation? And how many times do I have to say, I believe in Tua?
You don't, bro. You don't need. You shouldn't have to do it no more, bro.
The Miami Dolphins are legit Super Bowl contenders this year. I say it all the time.
Yeah.
But
you should say it when you're on the panel with Big. You should say it when you're on the panel with Big Nick and CB because we the one brought you to the light, bro.
Well, no. See right there. And again, I
He
know,
messing with you, man. He
no,
messing
and
with
again,
you.
I was just about to say it's a troll, right? I know
Yeah,
Nick is
that's true.
trolling.
Yeah.
What I'm,
But
and
you
again,
were a
but what I'm,
Wolfpacker at one point, Lewis. You
and I would
were.
agree, and I would
Okay.
agree. But the thing is, see, Nick and CB didn't bring me to the light. Tua brought me to the light.
Tua
Tua.
brought you
You
to
see
the
what I'm
light.
Tua
saying?
Leroy.
Tua is the one. Tua
Hey,
put in that work.
that's the
Tua's playing
perfect
better. And
segue. That's the
so what are we
perfect
talking about?
segue. I gotta play it. I gotta run it. That's
Right.
All right, Leroy. Who's the one and only master? I am. Let me go, motherfucker. Let me
Tua Leroy.
I think we
That
got to
dude.
replace that. Deshaun Watson, we moved on from Deshaun.
Okay, who we putting
I
in
think we
there
got to
now?
replace that with Pete or either CCRR or, you know what I'm saying, somebody
Yo,
like that. We gotta replace-
CCRR is a clown, yo. These bots. Hey, these dudes is begging me to drop the link, man. Should we drop the link for a little bit? Y'all cool with that?
Not the fight. Not the fight.
I'm not.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fight.
Yeah, not with panel. What you call them, Lewis? Panel killers?
No panel killers
Yeah,
come up.
no panel killers, please.
If you coming up, do not try to kill the panel. We having a good dialogue about the Miami Dolphins, and I know guys want to get. Hey, look, this Tua situation just rubs a lot of guys wrong in the community, and I can understand it because I've been on the other side of it. I've made bets with people. I've done a lot to defend Tua, and you know, now that he's playing well, we just don't hear a lot from the other side, which is a good thing. Everybody should be on the same accord at this point. They really should. I love
my Tannehill jersey. So
I used to, bro, and I used to defend Tannehill the same way.
I defended him the same way.
The same way. Like I'm fighting with Dolphin fans and I'm fighting with my boy who's a Cowboys fan, and everybody else. Right?
That's
and
my
I know
quarterback. I don't care. To this day, that's my quarterback.
Yeah. Hey, you're right. But I can understand people like Lewis who say, hey, we want better in certain moments. I can understand that, bro. Right. We all do, right? I think that's going to come with Tua maturing, Tua being in those moments, and Tua having an opportunity. Did I freeze up?
I fell in love with Tannehill for 3 reasons, right? And only one of the reasons are valid. I fell in love with him because he was a Miami Dolphin. I fell in love with him because of that cannon that he calls the right arm. And I fell in love with him because he got back up every freaking time he got hit. He got back up, right? And those last 2 things had nothing to do with winning.
Hey, nothing to do with it. Hey, but shout out to the homie Batman and the homie Mr. Polk up here. What's going on, Batman? What's going on with you, man? How you feeling today? It's good to see you.
Christian Wilkins, all pro.
Oh, he left. Mr. Polk, what's up with you, man?
Hey, how's it going? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. I got you. You sound on point, man. What's going on with you?
Hey, what's going on? CBA3, Lewis, and Big Nick.
How you doing?
I'm not coming up here to argue, but I just want to bring up one point.
Okay.
I followed Tua from his Alabama days to the draft. I was a lot of people don't know. I was hoping that he would come to the Miami Dolphins, and we got him. Now, with that being said, the first couple of years, like I said, because he's a rookie and he has to develop. I had mentioned 2 things about Tua that I want to see improve. It doesn't mean that I was Tua hater or I'm a Wolfpack, because I was labor a Wolfpack for saying what I had to say. So let me say it.
Okay.
I said that I want Tua to improve with his health, and I want to see him improve with his skill level. Now, I'm not a coach. I'm not a former football player like some of you guys are, but some things you can see with your eyes. When I mentioned those 2 things, that was it, because that was the only thing I saw with Tua that at that time that I wasn't too happy with. But I also mentioned, and Lewis can probably say the same thing, because I said on different platforms, any football player that that plays for the Miami Dolphins, okay, I'm going to support them. But if I see something that I don't like that they can improve, I'm going to mention it. But don't label people as haters or Wolfpack because of that. Because I call it straight down the middle, and that's how I am. But let me finish.
Go ahead.
I was labeled a hater, and I was labeled a Wolfpack. But that's, like I said, that's how I am. Now, as of today, I tell anybody, if you said anything bad about Tua, I'm gonna say there's something wrong with you, because Tua has improved in his health, and his skill level has risen way above expectations. And if for anybody to sit in the chat room and say anything bad about Tua because he makes a mistake in the game, go back and watch the game, because ever since this year started, every time if Tua make a mistake, he will turn around and make up for it. So let's not, if anybody, like I said, if you're against Tua, it's something wrong with you. And that goes for all the players, not just Tua. That goes for all the players on the Miami Dolphins roster. You have to critique them when they're not playing right, but that doesn't mean you hate them. What you're saying is you want to see them improve and help better the team. That's what it's all about. And also too, and I got to say this too, don't criticize people because they don't have as much knowledge as some of the people who are former coaches and former players. Don't criticize a person because sometimes they can see things that you can't see yourself. So don't be so critical on this. That's part of the reason why I've been staying off some of the platforms, because I've said something, not your platform, CBA. I've said something on the platform, and I had people in the chat room who have more knowledge of football than I did criticize me, saying you don't know what you're talking about. Be quiet, because I know more than you do. Don't do that. Don't be that way, because I'm gonna tell you something. For a person to do that, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you.
And I agree with you, Mr. Polk, and I think you made some real valid points there, especially when it comes to, like, criticizing other fans. We all have opinions, we do, and I think some of us get into these chat groups, right, and we start talking, and we see guys saying stuff, and you're like, man, what the hell are you talking about? And I've done it before. I'm guilty of it, so I know what you mean. I'm just always trying to, I don't know, fix the community, right? I'm always trying to do what's best for the community. And I feel like I'm obligated to do that, but I shouldn't be doing that. I should just be letting people feel how they want to feel, and just let them learn from whoever's in the community.
Right.
I feel like,
well, not to cut you off, CBA, you're doing a good job at that, along with other platforms. You're doing a good job with that. And but my thing is, there are people out there, like with me, I'm kind of old school because I've been around for a while, and I watch football most of my life using my eyes. Now, I can't quote stats and what have you. Now, do stats matter to me? Yes, and I have to. As time goes, I have to learn how to deal with stats along with using my eyes. But what I'm saying, and it's not directed at you, it's for people, don't criticize other people when they're making their opinion about something. And also too with me, if I say something, if I say something as far as a player goes, that don't mean I hate that player or that I think that player is trash. No,
you just want to be better.
Some players take time to develop. That's one thing I can tell anybody. I don't care if you know more football than me. Players take time to develop. So I'm not one of those that's gonna say that's okay. If Tua throws a bad ball, he's trash. No, I'm not gonna trash nobody until they show me that they can't do well, and then hey, we got to move on from it. That don't mean they trash.
I appreciate
they can go to another team and play well. Look at Christian McCaffrey. He was playing bad. I think he was with Carolina.
Yeah, he stayed hurt, and hurt, and now he's healthy.
Right, and now he's healthy.
You on fire, Mr. Polk. Breathe, Mr. Polk. You on fire.
There you go, Mr. Polk.
That's what I'm talking about.
Appreciate you, Mr. Polk. Batman, what's going on, man? I'm gonna get to y'all. T Rich, you next. What's going on, Batman?
What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. I got you.
What's up, Mr.? I see everybody in. Mr. Paul, T Rich, Q, Big Nick, Lewis.
I'm over here because I gotta.
What's up, Batman? I got a text message that my brother Lewis was getting jumped up here, so I had to jump on and see what's going on.
That nigga, boy, you stupid, dog.
Yeah. Hey, they've been chopping his ass up all day.
Hey,
They had them
you
Ginsus
stop.
out today, boy. Goddammit.
Hey,
Damn.
They can try. They can try.
Chop, nigga. Chop.
Hey,
They can
Batman.
No, I got caught up in
hey,
the same thing with Lewis.
hey, Lou been holding his own, Batman. Stop that. Stop that nonsense, dog.
Always hold my own.
T Rich, what's good with you? Hey, T Rich was up here trying to get at Lou, man. What's up with you, T Rich?
What's good, man? You can hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. And look, since this kind of turned into the love hour, I want to apologize to Lou. For real. Because I know I called him a casual.
What are you apologizing for? What did you say, T-Rich?
I'm being genuine. I'm being genuine.
I know, but I want to know what you said. I want to know wax. Damn it. What did you accuse Lewis of being? I want to know that. For the people in the back. For everybody in the back, T-Rich.
I called him a casual. I think what he was saying about Tua not showing up. Hold on, let me say it. I think when people start saying like, oh, this player doesn't show up in big games and stuff like that LeBron treatment, how they used to treat LeBron for a decade.
Oh,
it's like something. It's like something that you see on First Take. Which they are casual. The national media, they're casual.
You disagree with that?
Let him land, EM. Damn.
You right. Go ahead, T. Rich. Go ahead.
God. Go ahead, T. Rich. Man, you done knocked T. Rich off his point, man. He can't. Dang, EM. Kill that.
No, I can't believe he just sat up there and sat his behind up there, and that just came out of his damn mouth about not holding these quote unquote great players, MVP level players, generational players, holding them to the standard of winning. What world are we living in, T. Rich? That applies to any great player, quarterbacks, Tua, Michael Jordan.
But
LeBron James, Victor Wembanyama, right?
T. Rich, I think you're in a blender, bro. I don't know if you're talking right now, but we can't.
He should be in a blender for saying that foolishness. He should be. And you know, I was on Team Rich. Anytime you killing Lewis like you've been today, but I'm sorry, man. We got to part ways on this one. We got to part ways on this one, my friend.
Would you agree? Would you agree? Football is the ultimate team sport.
I would agree.
Absolutely.
I just want to know. I just want to know how T. Rich was killing me.
I think that's the point he's trying to make.
He was wrong. How that work?
Dang, EM, he killing you, EM.
No, that was absolutely ridiculous, bro. No, listen, I'm not saying it's fair, but that's the standard that's been set for 100+ freaking years, right? And Tua is not immune to that. If Tua becomes,
would you ever give Dan Marino this type of pressure?
Absolutely. I love Dan Marino. I love Dan. Again, obviously, you ain't been listening to me long enough, right? I publicly came out, and it has been critical of Dan Marino for not winning. And a lot of reason why he didn't win was a lot of his own doing. But no, this is not fair. But this is the standard that's been in place for 100+ year history of this game.
Okay, Doc, go ahead, Doc. Go ahead, get him,
Doc ain't letting that go.
Hey, Dan Marino was losing playoff games 51-48, bro. He had no defense, no running game. He had him, an offensive line, and for some receivers. That was it.
Well, why didn't he? Why didn't he have that?
He had no offensive line.
A lot of why he didn't have that, Doc, though. Doc, a lot of reason why, again, and these are just published reports, it's the public knowledge. A lot of reason why Dan Marino, right, he didn't have a more balanced team was to his own doing. He wanted to be the focal point.
Absolutely not.
He absolutely not having a defense had nothing to do with him. What did him not?
What do you mean? What?
All right.
He didn't hire Tom Oliver-Dottie. He didn't keep Tom Oliver-Dottie as his defensive coordinator. It wasn't his fault that 16 out of 17 years he played for the Miami Dolphins, he only had a 1,000-yard rusher. He didn't pick Larry Sand.
Here's where I'm critical. Again, I want to be consistent here. Here's why I'm critical of Marino. According to reports, right, the research that I've done on the Dan Marino era, right? Marino
Marino is God.
allegedly,
I've never heard
right?
that.
Allegedly did not want to invest certain resources on other aspects of the team because he wanted them all. He wanted all of those resources invested on the offense, right? On the passing game, the passing game,
Do you know how many?
the passing game.
Big name? You know how many big name running backs we tried to bring through this team for Marino that didn't work out?
Barry Sanders, one. I know one, and again, that wasn't Dan Marino. That was Jimmy Johnson. One that I know of.
Hey, but hold on real quick. I gotta pause. I gotta give a shout out to Q because he joined the Patreon. I appreciate you, Q. I appreciate the support. I gotta let my homie get on here and say his due. Go ahead, Q. What you got for us?
Hey, no problem, CB. No, let him rock.
Okay.
Hey, we done. Ian, we done, bro. Go ahead and talk.
Appreciate you. Hey, real quick. I wanted to get back to T Rich.
Not on that topic, you don't.
I gotta, man. Come on, man. I gotta get back to T Rich real quick. T Rich,
come back on.
T Rich was basically he was talking to Lou about the he was apologizing. It was genuine, right? It was genuine, right, T Rich?
Yeah, 100%. I was apologizing to Lewis because I think what he was saying is just kind of reminding me of a casual because it's based off that content that we see on national media that is made to appeal to casual users. Like the Chargers was a big game. There's tons of big games throughout the year. But after hearing what he had to say and Tua showed him the light, like I don't. He's probably not a casual. I don't know. 99% of fans are casuals because. Yeah. Right. That's the way the game is structured. Like we're looking at broadcast footage that follows only the football. So I mean, it's nothing wrong with being a casual. But yeah, no, I apologize 100%.
Hey,
it's nothing bad.
Oh, what you?
T Rich, I want to apologize. T Rich, I want to apologize to you as well. Listen, there's nothing wrong with being an Alabama fan and a Miami Dolphins fan.
Is that what it is?
I'm not a Miami Dolphins fan.
Look,
it is.
Wait a minute. Hold on,
Big Nick. Hold on. Let him finish. Let him
What did
finish.
you say? You're not a who?
He said he's not a Miami Dolphins
fan. I'm not
fan.
a Miami Dolphins fan. Yeah.
Wow.
Really? Hey, stop.
Are you serious?
Let me explain.
Wow. I did not know that. I didn't know that.
There's a lot of cool boys on
No, you can't explain. No, you can't explain. You should be silent in this community because we know the word objectivity is not. You have no you cannot comprehend that word when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa, bro. So all of your takes, everything you said about Tua have been debunked because we know it's been 100% subjective.
Now, I have a question.
You're not even a Dolphins fan. That explains a lot.
Ian, be quiet. Hold up, T Rich. I got a question for you. As an Alabama fan who's a Tua fan and who likes Tua, you're not a Miami Dolphin fan. Can you still be objective about Tua Tagovailoa? Can you still say he played a bad game or he can play better in certain moments?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, and that's fair, and I'm cool with that.
I doubt that. Can I give you a brief explanation? Let me give you a brief explanation. Yes, I am an Alabama fan. As an Alabama fan, there are numerous quarterbacks that's becoming QBU that goes from college to the NFL. I am an NFL fan first and foremost. And I understand the problem. Hold on. Let me go. I understand the probabilities of being successful in the NFL. Like even the way they hype up Caleb Williams, I don't know if he's going to be successful in the NFL. I have no clue, right? Because the probabilities are not in your favor to be a franchise quarterback. That's how difficult the NFL is, right? I'm not a Bryce Young fan. I'm not a Matt Jones fan. I wasn't a Derrick Henry fan. I saw something special in Tua based off of film and based off what he was doing on the football field. And I knew that was going to translate to the NFL. I knew he was going to be a great quarterback in the NFL without a shadow of a doubt, right? Wow. So it all surrounds around that. Like everything that I said after year one on TD Fans Talk, CB, you can attest to this, has come true, right? So
what's weird? But what's weird? One more thing. 4 years.
Hold up, Big Nick. Let him finish.
Yeah, one more thing. I am not like other Tua fans because there are people who love Tua just because he went to Alabama. There are people who love Tua because he's Samoan. There are people who love Tua because the Miami Dolphins drafted him, and they're a Dolphins fan, and they just feel like they have to support their franchise quarterback.
And those are the ones we don't need to listen to in terms of debate. In terms of debate,
because he has unique skill set that's relatable to the position.
All that is great. We appreciate all of that. We respect all of that. But what's getting to people like me and EM is that you've had 4 years to be associated with God's greatest creation known to man, and you still aren't. See, I have a problem with that.
You might as well go ahead and get your jersey.
No, T. Rich. Listen, all due respect. Hey, T. Rich. All due respect. You seem like a good dude, bro. But at the end of the day, in terms of now that this information has been revealed, you've excused yourself from any level of debate about this team, bro. I mean, really, all due respect.
Is that new information?
Real quick.
Some kudos, though.
Go ahead, Mr. Polk.
Because this is the same T. Rich that used to give TD a hard time, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you.
So T. Rich always, but see, and that's what I appreciate about T. Rich is that he's using it based on what he's seen in the play.
Right, exactly.
And I can appreciate that. Right, and he's convicted by what he's seen on the film and how he's played. He's not just coming out.
He invited to your barbecue.
He coming. He all right. He all right with me.
Appreciate it.
No, sir. No disrespect to you, Rich, but no, sir.
Not to your barbecue, man. It's cool. Listen, this is y'all. Listen, Dolphins fans, y'all can't be too uppity, right? Like, Tua is going to be one of the greatest to ever play. That's just my personal opinion. We'll see if it happens. But to have a player like that, you're going to get new fans. Like when Tom Brady went to Tampa, I'm sure there were Tom Brady fans that followed Tampa. That's fine. If y'all would have got Deshaun Watson, you would have had to deal with Watsoneers. Like,
that's fine. And that's all. And see, Rich, I don't have a problem with that. It's just when you engage, when you talking about the sport of debate, right? You people that are biased towards the player, right? And this is the argument that you've been listening to me long enough, T. Rich. You know the position I've always taken with Tua, right? In regards to this conversation, you cannot objectively debate with those individuals because they are clearly biased. They are not Dolphin fans, A, and then B, they clearly they migrated from Alabama to Miami because of Tua. How can you objectively debate with anybody that has that level of bias? You can't. It's impossible.
But see, this is the thing that bothers me.
No. 98% of the Tua are fucking not objective, bro.
But real quick, this is my thing about because TD has this thing that, hey, Alabama fans who came into the community and who supported Tua and who came because of Tua are the reason that the Miami Dolphins fans are split down the middle in regards to Tua. And that bothers me, right?
I think that contributed to a lot of that. There is some truth to that statement.
I blame it all on one man. I'm sorry, EM. I blame it all on one man. And 4 years ago, he was the hottest commentator about the NFL, and that was Colin Cowherd. Most people went with the way Colin Cowherd went. That's who I blame it on.
But I think there's a lot of people in the community that we're kind of on both sides, right? On either side of it. But for you to say that Alabama fans that came into community are the reason for the split, I think that's blasphemy. And
I think there's some truth, not 100%. There's some truth to that.
But I think it all started with Reason, EM, TD. That's who I think it really started with, to be completely honest with you.
In that narrative.
Yeah, I think that's where it started. EM doesn't want to address it head on clearly because he doesn't want to, man up and really talk about it. But I think it really.
Let's talk about it, TD. No, hell no. Let's talk about what are you talking about, CB? What the fuck does that mean? I don't know what are you talking about?
Because it clearly look. You and Reason were clearly on the side, and I remember watching you guys. I watched you guys constantly. Finsanity was there; she's in the chat right now. I'm sure she can attest to this. There were plenty of people in the community who were watching you guys at the moment. You and Reason were sold on Tua. TD was not sold on Tua. Clearly.
I agree. I agree with that.
Right.
I agree with that.
Let him finish.
And at the point in time, it almost came to the point where at some point you guys split away from TD.
It wasn't because of Tua, bro.
But it wasn't because of Tua. And I'm not saying it was because of Tua.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that when you guys split, those narratives went with you. TD was still on the side where he didn't like Tua. He felt
how
he was
are we supposed to control that? How can I control that?
You don't control it. You can't control it. But you clearly had two sides of the community. As two of the biggest, you guys were the biggest at the time. Reason was one of the biggest. TD was one of the biggest. And TD was clearly the biggest, right? And Reason started to grow his platform. He felt like Tua was good enough, and he was more than suitable. He felt like he wasn't a one-read quarterback. On the other side, you had TD that was saying he's a one-read quarterback. He can't get it done. I don't think he'll ever be a franchise quarterback, right? And I think when people see and hear that every other day from both sides, I think that's where the division came. I think that's where the split came.
I agree with how is it that I don't want to man up and discuss that? How is it I don't want to man up and discuss that?
Because you're talking about
keep carrying that narrative about Tua.
Because
he tells the facing public that Tua's the guy, but then he goes on the other podcasts of the AFC Roundtable and he makes a statement like Tua win those last 3 games. He's definitely a franchise quarterback. Like you can't be pushed. You know what I'm saying? So TD is kind of divisive and kind of what's the word?
I think that's a part of it.
Let me jump in here real quick. See, here's where. Okay, I don't disagree with anything you said. I've acknowledged that, CV,
and it's
that
not
the division was created
directly because of you, but
our positions in the community, considering where we were on the internet or whatnot at that time. TD was like the biggest. The biggest platform, and right. We had that Tuesday night panel, and it is what it is. But I agree, there is some truth. I agree with what you're saying, but
right,
but here's the issue. In terms of the consistent divide, you had defense side, the NFL side, because I was a big part of that,
right.
And at least initially, and we maintained our position on Tua based off facts. Based off film, based off analytics, etc. But then you had another side, right? And again, I've told TD this to his damn face. People on the phone, people on this panel right now can confirm everything that I'm saying now. So this is not like I'm talking behind TD's back. TD know 100%. I've told this to him to his face, right? Yeah. So, but you had the other side, right, of the fence, which TD was a big part of that. He was spearheading a lot of that were consistent in their position based off their own, I feel like their own personal biases. So again, it can be a division. It can be a divide. People can have differences of opinion, but at least have something factual, something tangible to validate your position, whatever position you're taking with any, not just Tua, but with any player. And that is where the problem lies. It's not the division. It's not the difference of opinion. It's at least have something to validate what other than I don't like this player. I don't want this player. He will never be this. He will never be that. And that has been, y'all know that.
Ian, go ahead. You're a knowledgeable fan, right? I would agree with that as well. But you would say that about yourself, that you're a knowledgeable fan, right?
What's that? Right? What's that? I didn't hear you. What's that?
I would agree with this statement that EM Dolphin fan is a knowledgeable Miami Dolphin fan. You would agree with that about yourself, right?
I try to be.
You would also agree that technically you are an untrained eye on this level.
What's that?
You are an untrained eye on this level evaluating.
No, I don't think so.
Hang on. Your mic fading out, Lou.
Hey, untrained eye. No. I got to emphatically disagree with that. My receipts speak for itself, and we just not talking about Tua. You look at every fake.
Bro, look at Big Nick. Your mic tripping, bro. I can't hear you.
And now, do I have any? What's that?
We heard.
In the height of this game right now, the NFL, these players, you would consider yourself a trained eye evaluator of this.
Absolutely, self-taught, 100%. Self-taught,
self-taught, self-made.
Well, again,
I think
well. Hang on. Let me stop you. Let me stop you real quick. Well, how do you judge? How do you distinguish between a trained eye and an untrained eye? You go by their projections, right? Louis Riddick,
No.
who I hold in the highest esteem. Why do I hold him? Why do I hold him in the highest esteem? Because again, his player evaluations, his education on his education, the NFL fan base on scheme, etc. Right? And again, I'm not saying I'm not saying I put myself in that category, but you,
Em, with all due respect, Em, come on, man, don't do that. This man got hundreds of thousands of hours.
I'm not saying if you let me finish, bro. If you let me continue, I will. I'm getting to that. I am not saying I'm a fan just like anybody else, right? But to sit here again, I've never been affiliated, never had a desire to be affiliated with the NFL on any level, right? But at the end of the day, how do you judge people based on how do you distinguish people whether they're trained or untrained? Trained in terms of the details of this game. You go by their fucking hang on. You go by their goddamn projections, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna tell you straight up, and this is for you. This is for anybody in the community. Go back to 2019 and pull up them tapes of TD Foolish Talk. Inside the NFL, right? You will be hard, and I'm not saying this because I'm biased to that platform or biased because because Reason is my dude, right? But when you talk about projections of this team, you would be hard pressed to find, and you can go up to Louis Riddick, you can go up to Travis Wingfield. You will be hard pressed to find since 2019 anybody that has been more consistent, more accurate in their projections about this team than Reason. More so now because I'm not on the internet like that, but definitely 2019 EM Dolphin fan is included in that group as well. So I don't have to sit up here. Anybody that's been listening to me long enough, listen to us long enough, go pull the fucking receipts up.
We hear
with all
you,
due respect. With all due respect.
We hear you.
With all due respect, right? I played high school quarterback, right? But that doesn't make me a trained eye on that level. I just said that.
Well, that's you. That's you.
I fell in love, and I'm older than you. You know what I'm saying? I'm older than you, and I have, if not more, football experience than you, but at least on the same level as you, right? And I just sat up here and said I fell in love with Ryan Tannehill because of his big arm and his toughness. I am not qualified or trained enough to sit up there and truly evaluate him without information based from people who are far more experienced than I am, right?
No.
Whole point. Wait.
Go ahead.
My whole point to this whole topic was that we as fans, and I'm including myself, we seem to put way more value into the opinion of the untrained eye than what we do to the people that's actually running their organization.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this though. Well, what happens when to your words, untrained eye? The untrained individuals are 75 to 80% more accurate than the quote unquote trained eye guys.
Sometimes that
What
happens.
do you do then? No, it happens a lot on inside the NFL.
Yeah,
that is a fact. I don't want to hear that. So, but nobody. But again, I've been clear. First off, me personally, Nick, this applies to you and any motherfucker in the community. You don't have to listen to me.
That's true.
Hang on. Let me finish.
Go ahead and land EM so we can
let me finish. Right. You don't have to listen to EM Dolphin fan. You don't have to listen to Finside NFL. You don't have to listen to TD Foolish Talk or any platform. You pick and choose who you choose to listen to. Yeah. My position again. Never had a desire to be a analyst or evaluator. I'm a fan with an opinion, with an objective opinion about the Miami Dolphins. I cannot help based off my projections, what I've pumped out into this community just happens to be a little more accurate than the average person. I can't help that. So again, my advice to you as well as others, why you I don't consider myself untrained, bro, because we watch the niggas in the know in the community, the real ones in the community, they know we watch film, right? We come from a film-based perspective that has been consistent since day one. So at the end of the day, my friend, So I advise you as well as others, if you consider yourself untrained in any aspect of the details of football, well, my advice to you is, well, you need to get trained. You need to get
I can
trained.
break down Jeff Gordon. I can break down Jeff Gordon going around the racetrack, going a circle around the racetrack off of what I see. But I have no fucking idea as to
Let's keep
what
the language.
he's doing.
Let's keep the language.
I have no clue as to what he's doing, why he chose to do it like that. I can break down him going in a circle around the track, buddy, but that doesn't mean that you only breaking down what you see. You don't know nothing about the intricacies of that particular.
I don't think you should be offended by this. I don't think you should be offended by this.
Who's offended? I'm not offended. Who's offended? No, I took exception. No. I took exception to the untrained label. I don't have a problem with it.
Go ahead, T-Rich.
Nobody knows.
I think the difference. Hold on. I think the difference between like a casual. I consider myself a novice of the game, and I'll probably be a novice for the rest of my life. I think the difference between a casual and a novice is a novice wants to learn. They want. And you said that, Em, that you're continuing your learning process.
Absolutely.
In terms of football.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of casuals, they mess up. And they think they're experts. They skip the novice phase and they just think they're expert and they think what they say is law. And even you using verbiage like, "Oh, I'm 80% correct." Like, right. Like I said before, people just say Caleb Williams is going to be a superstar. Like they're throwing him in Canton as we speak, and he hasn't even played a snap yet. It's okay to say
you're forecasting. Bro, didn't that come out of my mouth? I never said I was an expert. When have you ever heard me say I'm an expert? I said I'm just a little more accurate than the average person.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
So I'm just saying you shouldn't be offended. You shouldn't be offended. Flores
I'm not. No. I didn't take offense. No. I want to be clear. I didn't take offense to anything Nick said. I didn't take offense to anything he said. I do have a problem with the term untrained. No, I think I have not the most trained eye, but I think, in my opinion, right, based off and again, go back to 2019 and listen to things that have come out of my mouth publicly and privately, right? The real ones know. So absolutely not. I consider myself to be one of those trained. I got some level of being able to really distinguish details about this game, bro. From a personnel standpoint, from a scheme standpoint, from a coaching standpoint.
But this is no. We're not doing that, Big Nick. I don't care about that, right? So what my thing is at this point is
I definitely would be a better scout than you, my friend. I definitely know that. I definitely know that.
Like this conversation is kind of pointless. Like what I want you guys, and I think AM, you said it. Like you feel like your eye is trained, like untrained eye, whatever, right? It doesn't matter where you are in your journey amongst watching football. If you're a casual, be a casual, and just know that you're a casual, right? Be whatever you want to be. But look, don't. But this is my thing. If you don't know, right, and you don't watch film, please don't get up here and try to tell me, somebody who watches the film, somebody who evaluates it.
Nick.
Don't try to tell me what I'm seeing, because I can show it to you and I can point it out. So just don't try to argue with me because you can't put the film on. If you can't put the film on, you shouldn't. I shouldn't even be talking to you. Right?
I'm not saying. Well, I'm never going to have that level of arrogance, right? We can debate. I'll debate with anybody. I
don't debate with people.
It's just when you can't put the film on. It's just when you become combative, right? Again, go back to what I said. Have something to stand on, be 10 toes on in terms of your position, right? And especially just because you might not be in the know about a level of detail about a specific issue involved.
You're feeling attacked because I asked you, do you believe you're a trained eye?
No. I didn't attack. No, I didn't. I did not.
This isn't about. Look. But hey, can we not?
I did not attack you until you started to indirectly jabbing. Right? Do you think you can be a scout? Who said it, bro? I never even, bro.
This isn't about you and Nick.
Who said anything about becoming a scout, bro? What the fuck? Why would you even bring that up?
But like, this isn't right. This isn't about you and Nick though. Like, all we're saying.
Can I finish my point, CB? Can I finish my point, CB?
We're just having dialogue.
Can I finish my point, CB?
Go ahead, finish your point.
Okay, so my point was before I was so rudely interrupted. Right? At the see what I mean? See what I mean, CB? That's your man. Get your man now. I'm trying to be civil here.
Bro, we're
right?
civil. Come on, let's
So
go.
at the end of the day, nobody's up here again. Nobody's trying, and to people that I know, and it could be anybody I've ever come across. I've never met anybody in the community, whether you got a platform or not, has stated that they are trying to be a quote unquote scout or a what. They're just people they're just because you got a platform, or if you don't, you just have an opinion about this team. And again, it just so happens that some people are more accurate and more consistent with their projections than others, which is fine.
Cool. And that's
Take it or leave it.
And Ian,
all this nonsense about being a scout and trying to be, nobody's trying to do that, to my knowledge. No, it's just don't get mad at people.
No different from the other train die. That's all.
You shouldn't be mad. Don't get mad at people because they are more accurate than others. That's all. That's my position.
Yeah. I think the train eye is such a subjective statement that you shouldn't be offended by it. It's so subjective. Like, what is a trained eye and what is not?
Right. Well, you don't.
Like,
I mean,
you may not be, and you may be. Who knows?
I just asked a question. Do we believe you?
I Google that shit. I go on Google and I search schemes and stuff. You can educate yourself. You can have an opinion.
100%. 100%.
Educated opinion.
100%.
And Q, that's what I'm trying to do, because that's the reason. Okay, go ahead.
Go finish up, Q. Finish up.
No. I want to say something real quick. Listen, I respect everybody on this panel, Lewis, everybody, right? But I'm going to say this real quick. EM, I respect a lot because, when he talks, I agree with most of the things he says, because it's logical, right? It's all his stance has always been clear, right? He's going to be objective and it's going to be based on film, right? No emotional, nothing. And I think what EM, what Lewis, and what CB is doing, man, we are so far removed from the conversation we had last year that it's the conversation has been progressive, very progressive, and look who's spearheading that shit, bro. EM, Lewis, and Finch take CP83, bro. So I don't think we should revert back to the dark ages, bro. We ain't trying to go back there, bro.
And you're right, Q. That really was the dark ages when we were fighting over not
Tua,
even
no film, no nothing, bro.
Right,
blah,
right,
blah,
and
blah,
that's
blah.
yeah. It's just it's pointless. But I'm glad we're to the point where we are, and I think everybody has some valid takes.
Well, the film always, right, confirms or denies, right, everything, whatever the debates are, right. Only a fool is going to sit up and argue with what the film is saying and what the truth is, right. So that's why, again, I've always been consistent on coming from a film, as much of a film-based perspective you could possibly be, because the film is what's revealing everything to everyone, right? If you know how to sit there and really evaluate film, call out coverages, right? Call out personnel groupings, bro, etc. That just let the film talk. Just let the freaking film talk.
The eye and the lie don't sky. That's the motto. The eye and the lie. I mean, the eye and the sky don't lie. So that's the motto. The eye and the sky does not lie. As long as you watch the film and evaluate it, and everybody don't got to do that, right? I mean, if that's not what you do, just watch people who do. If you want to learn, right? There's a place for everybody. There's people who break down
and don't get combative and don't get combative and argumentative with people that actually do know. Right?
Yeah,
don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do, right?
But see, that's
but a lot of people.
Go ahead, Lou. Lou, go ahead. He hasn't said nothing. Lou, go ahead.
A lot of people, when I hear it, because I agree. Listen, there's a lot of people in the community. I know I come out and I troll a lot about CB83's film breakdown, but that's just trolling. I think CB does do a really, really good job, as well as others in the community. But when I hear the film or the eye in the sky don't lie, that is a true statement. But there are, again, if whatever side of the fence you want to be on, if you are on one and you don't want to be objective, you could always, that eye in the sky, you can always use it to point out your narrative if you have one, right? Like, so I think two things can be true. You can watch film and you can know what you're looking at and know what you're talking about, but if you don't want to see certain things on the field that doesn't fit the narrative you're trying to create, you could always paint it in a different way, right? And I'm not trying
Lewis,
to call out nobody in the community.
and I
I'm not
agree
trying
with
to
you
put no
there.
names on it. I'm just saying that, you know, it is what it is. We can't just come out and say everybody that watches film, oh, they're the 100% because it. Nah, bro, you can always anything. Film,
But see,
stats,
when I say,
whatever,
but when I say,
you can
look,
have
when I
that
say,
to paint a
but when I
narrative.
say
You know
that
what I'm
eye in
saying?
the sky don't lie, Lou, I'm saying that, hey, if you watch it for yourself and what your eyes are telling you, if you're going to listen to certain people and they have a narrative about a player, and what they're going to do is put on the film and harp on that guy's bad plays instead of focusing on all the good plays that he's making too, I think you're going to see that. It's gonna come out. It's going to show itself in the film breakdown.
100%. It is hard to find.
You being a coach, but with you being a coach, CB, especially at the position that you coach, when you break down film, you don't just say this is what happened. You explain the why.
The why.
So
the concept.
you can know what happened.
CB ain't the only one that do that. CB's not the only one that does that. He ain't the only one.
He's not saying I'm the only one.
Okay, I just want. In any event, I just want to be clear. I just want to be clear on that. I just want to be clear on that.
Go ahead,
Ian. You know the why, and I think the why
Well,
is way more important than the how.
Okay. Go
Well,
ahead.
well, hold on, real quick, right, real quick, because CB, what you said was true, and again, I'm not going to put no names on any of this. We're
You
just
can.
talking
I don't
about-
mind, bro. I don't mind you
No,
putting a name on.
no. I get it, but I'm not trying to. But I'm just
Okay.
saying for what you said, right? The narrative of, let's say there's a certain individual, right, that throws
Mhm.
on film, and they might harp on a certain player. I'm not saying I disagree with you, CB, at all.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is, let's say there's whoever it is in the community, whoever it is, that not even in the community. Let's say you're breaking down film, right?
Yeah.
And you see a certain individual, this case Tua, since he's the quarterback, and Tua makes a play with the ball, right?
A good
Whether
player or
it's
bad
good,
player?
bad. No, let's say it's a completion, right? Let's
Okay.
for the sake of this conversation, let's say it's a completion.
Right.
But on the other side of that film, or on the other side of that field, you see someone wide open. Or in a half a second or a second later, you see that person streaking down the field.
Mm-hmm.
That certain individuals are not going to say, well, look at so-and-so in the flat wide open. Look at so-and-so streaking down the field. They're just
I'm gonna need a name on that. I'm gonna need a name on that.
Hold on.
I'm gonna need a name on
I want to address
I'm
this.
I'm not putting no names. I'm just saying, like, when we come out and say the eye in the
Yeah.
sky don't lie, I would agree. What I'm saying is, though, you can always, even on film or stat, PFF grades, whatever, etc., you can use anything to fit a narrative.
But
So what you're saying is the eye in the sky don't lie, but it will mislead you.
Well, no. To this point, like we don't know
What the
everything
quarterback-
because we're not in the
Yeah,
organization. We don't know
exactly.
the reads associated
Well,
with the
it
play.
depends on who,
Yeah,
we don't know
who
the
you're
first
and-
evaluating.
that guy.
It depends
And
on
nobody
who
knows.
you're
Hold up.
Nobody
Stop.
knows.
Stop talking.
Nobody
Stop talking.
knows.
Let T. Rich go. Go ahead, T. Rich. Go.
The person streaking down the sideline could be his fourth read, right? And so we're speculating like, oh, he shouldn't have went to the check down. He should have hit the guy streaking down the sideline. But in terms of playing the position, he completed the operations. And the way Brady speaks about the position, and I think that clip went viral with him speaking to Josh Allen and Brian Leftwich even confirmed this. Brady would look at the check down. If one was open, he would hit it. If one wasn't open in the flat, then he would look down the field. That's what Brady was throughout his career.
Well,
That's why he got
I
the
think
game
T-Rich-
manager title.
Well, T. Rich, I think people are only critical of Tua is when the one is not there, and then he still is not progressing, right? To 2, to 3, to 4.
But I'm not
That's
gonna.
the only.
Ian,
I
that's-
think for the
nah,
most part, that's when
not
people
it.
are critical.
That's not it, EM. I think people are critical at all times in regards to Tua, and I think T. Rich is spot on when he says, "Hey, we don't know what side of the field he's supposed to be reading." There's certain play. What I'm saying is there's certain plays where Mike McDaniel will say, "Hey, this is the side of the field you should be on. This is where you should be operating."
Well, let me stop you there. If Mike McDaniel is teaching Tua that, he is fucking wrong, bro.
No,
you are taught to evaluate all 3 levels, right? And again, I understand.
There's 3 levels on one side of the field.
Hang on. Now,
There's 3 levels on one side of the field,
hang on. I understand you got different play calls, like, you got different formats, like an RPO format. Yeah, the play design is to read one side of the field
Okay, so
primarily.
what are you talking about?
Right. No, but you just said
I said there are plays where you need to read
well, I didn't hear
one
you
side
correct. Okay,
of the
well, my
field.
bad then. Okay, I thought
so
you
don't,
said
hey,
something
don't
totally different.
I know what the hell I'm talking about. You can't correct me, bro.
All right.
See, and again, football, especially on this panel, with one thing I understand about CB is that nuances matter, right? Like those things matter. And so for you to say that once his one read is not open, not you particularly, but the narrative, to say once his one read is not open, then everything goes to shit for Tua, we're not also recognizing that for his first 2 years, full years as a starter, he had historically horrible offensive lines that maybe he can't go through all of his progressions because there's not that much time there for him.
Well, I want to be clear. I want to
that's it.
reiterate my position in the instances that I was critical of Tua. Right, I took all that into account. I didn't ding Tua for not having an adequate amount of time.
That's easy to say.
Can I finish? Right? Can I please finish?
That's easy to say.
I can only speak for me. I've only been critical of when I know the narrative that a lot of people in the community don't believe in 2020 or 2021 that Tua had. There were times for stretches during the game where Tua did have adequate time to evaluate the field and respond accordingly, right? But that was confirmed on film. So when I'm critical of Tua is when he does have adequate time and he's still not making the proper read.
Which is fair, but you also have to take into account that it's inconsistent. And that first 2 years, him having time was inconsistent. He didn't get to
nobody ever disputed that.
And
nobody ever tried to dispute that.
Look, and that's all I'm saying. But what I want us to take into account is that we don't know what the reads are, what the play calls are. So even if you are going to somebody and watching a film evaluation, you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, 100%.
The only film evaluation I can only
the coach knows that.
Only the coach knows. Only Mike McDaniel knows what he's supposed to do on every single play. Only him.
With all
so
due
that's
respect,
hold up, Big Nick. That is the ultimate film breakdown. If we could sit in a room with Mike McDaniel and Tua and go through the film together, I'm sure Mike McDaniel has a conversation about what he should be doing on each play, right? And I know people are saying, oh, he was open, streaking down the field. Mike McDaniel might have said, hey, you aren't supposed to be looking over there. I want you focusing on this side of the field. Somebody should be open on this side of the field. Right,
but why would you limit your quarter? But and again, that could vary.
It's not limiting. Sometimes
it depends on the play call.
It really depends on the play call. Sometimes those guys are clear outs or routes that take people away from the other side of the field.
We understand that, but when he's open, but when the guy is open, CB,
in year one,
it doesn't matter if he's open.
You sound like TD right now, to be honest with you, bro. When you saying foolishness like that,
hey, Ian,
I'm not in the business of going at somebody when they ain't up here on the panel, but goddamn, you sounding just like TD right now.
Look,
this is ridiculous.
I coached football for I coached football for a long time. My quarterback was not always looking scanning the entire field. Sometimes he had to focus on the left side of the field.
He should be though.
And he would never
it's called playing the short field.
Bro, you have to play. Bro, quarterbacks don't have time to scan the entire field every play. You got 3 seconds.
Nobody said every play.
Bro, so if it's not every play, then why would he see that guy that on the off play when he doesn't?
Again, goes back to what I said.
Exactly.
When you watch the film, when you put the film on and you evaluate the stability up front first, well, does Tua have adequate time to survey the field, right?
That's not making your point, though.
It is making my point because you're saying for a man somebody could be streaking down the field wide open, and you're up here with a straight face saying that, well, some plays just require he shouldn't be looking at that guy.
If I have trips left, let me paint this picture for you because I don't think you're quite understanding it, right? If I have trips left, and I know I have 3 guys on the left side of the field, and those 3 guys are running low, middle, high, right? They're running low, middle, high, and I know my route is over here. I'm never going to get to the other side. Why?
Well,
What is the reason? What is the reason for me to get to the other side?
That's obvious shit. Didn't I say depending on the play call? Didn't you hear me just say that?
So what you talking about?
No. What you again? You're not clear. No, you're not clear enough.
On,
what's coming out of your mouth right now, TD? Right, TD, CB, look. Damn it. God damn. You CB, right? You're not clear enough, right?
Bro,
come on now. That's obvious shit.
You're not
obviously
listening,
obviously more attention needs to be when you have a formation like formationally, yeah, it does.
Yes,
it
bro.
can
Formationally,
how much attention a quarterback gives to either side of the field. Absolutely, 100%.
Exactly, and I'm not honestly. If my guy has trips left and that's where his read is, I'm not telling him to get all the way to the fourth one and try to find a guy streaking down the field. See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong, right? Because if they roll coverage, if they roll coverage to that side of the field and they're covering up those three eligible receivers, what about when the guy is you just going to ignore a guy running streaking open down the field? Is that what you're telling me?
Wait. To be
fair, you got to be very detailed.
That's what you just said, CB.
I didn't say
that's
roll
what
coverage.
You just said.
When did you say? When did I say roll coverage?
Bro, again, I guess I gotta clear to you again. Just because you call trips, just because you cause trips, that don't mean necessarily those three guys are gonna have. They're gonna be options. They're gonna be open.
So look. So if they.
So what do you do when the defense throws a curveball to you and they put umbrella coverage on those three receivers? What do you do then?
Okay, here we go.
One particular play out of 1,000. That's not no.
That happens a hell of a lot more, than you would think. Honestly, somebody don't watch film. I understand you making statements like that.
CB, let me get my point off.
Real quick, go ahead.
Fair, this type of criticism has to go back to Tua's first full year as a starter, right? It has to go back to there because he had two 1,000-yard receivers last year. He put up career numbers, and we see what he's doing this year. You can point out one or two plays from this year, but as a consistent basis, you have to go back to his original first year starter where this type of narrative is coming from. And his leading receiver on that team was giving him 1.9 yards of separation. 1.9 yards of separation on every single time. So even if you sit up there and tell me
what Ryan Fitzpatrick make it work? How did Ryan Fitzpatrick work with those same receivers that had trouble separating?
You're talking about a 14-year veteran who's played in 9 different.
I acknowledge that. I understand that, but don't sit here and act like it can't be done because he was doing it. Y'all see, that's the issue. Y'all act like it was virtually impossible. Y'all act like it was virtually impossible, right? For Tua to have. And again, I'm not saying that he should have came out and been as productive as that was never my expectation. But again,
that's apples in swimming pools.
But again, y'all act like it was virtually impossible, which it wasn't, because you had one example, one guy, whatever his status in the league is whatever. But the fact of the matter is, it could have gotten done. But Ryan Fitzpatrick was performing at a relatively high level.
I think it's just
what Tua was able to do at that point in his career. No one would ever compare that except you. Why would you do that?
I think that's unfair.
No, because it actually happened. That's why it actually happened.
But this is my thing, EM. I get
y'all act like when y'all sit here and say stuff like that, it was no possible way a player could have been functional behind that O-line and that collection of skill position players. That's the narrative that y'all try to sell.
Hold on.
There was a way. Obviously, there was a way. However, the way for the young quarterback hadn't had experience enough to figure out that way at that point in time.
And again, which is why I never said move off of Tua.
Right, but
which is why I never said I'm willing to move off of Tua just based for another draft guy.
Look, you digging yourself a hole, EM. You digging yourself a hole with this Ryan Fitzpatrick talk, bro. You digging yourself a hole.
So when y'all,
I don't think it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair, bro.
Nobody's saying it's fair, bro. Who said it was fair? No, the NFL is not fair, bro. This is a results-based freaking business. That's what the NFL is, bro. And at the end of the day, when y'all sat up here and y'all used that narrative about what Tua did not have for 2 years, which there is some truth to that, but you motherfuckers act like it was virtually impossible for him to put more consistent film out there in 2020 and 2021, which I emphatically disagree about.
It was impossible. It was impossible for him to have the same success as Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yes, we're saying that.
I think so.
I'm not saying that. I think
I
Fitzpatrick
think under his
hold on, Stevie.
Under the circumstances,
under his circumstance of being injured and coming into the league his rookie year, I think it's unfair. Go ahead, T. Rich.
It is unfair. And I'm not saying that he should have been as productive. Nobody, y'all are saying that. I didn't say that. What I said was y'all are not listening to what I said. Y'all are saying that it was virtually impossible that no quarterback could have been productive with that skill position group and that O-line. And that's just not the case, bro.
We talking about Tua. Go ahead, T. Rich. T. Rich. Hey, hold up. Let T. Rich talk. Be quiet.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. There were games, and people pretend like it didn't happen. There were games where Tua was successful, right? In year 1 and year 2. I mean, against the Chiefs, against Arizona.
I agree with that. I would agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay. And as far as Fitzpatrick had some good games against the 3 worst teams in the NFL. The teams that he beat were the Jets, the Jaguars, and the 49ers. They had the 1, 2, and number. Hold on. They had the 1, 2, and number 3 overall draft pick in that subsequent draft. Right, they were the worst teams in the NFL, and he was successful.
Did you forget about 2019 when they went into Foxborough, the last game of the season, with New England had everything on the line, right? New England had everything to win on that game. They go into Foxborough, which we hadn't won in Foxborough in what 20 years. You forget about that though, right? Lead them on the game-winning drive. He had like over 100 quarterback rating, threw 3 touchdowns, had almost 300 yards passing. You forget on the road, right? You forget about that though, correct? Okay, but go ahead.
We know what Fitz is, right? He gets hot and he can get really cold. And what I'm saying, as far as the 2020, I mean that's what he was his entire career, right? We don't have to debate that. Right? Fitz magic, Fitz tragic. I think in the 2020 season, he took care of the worst teams on the schedule, and we didn't get a chance to see him be Fitz tragic. And so Dolphins fans, you guys have in your mind that Fitzpatrick he left his career as a top 10 quarterback. And that's just not true. Like Fitzpatrick was successful in Miami some game, and Tua was successful.
T-Rich, wait, T-Rich. I think the point is, let's stay on point.
He was inconsistent, but he wasn't all bad.
What Em is saying, to Em's defense, T-Rich, what I think he's trying to say is that Tua had the same receiver as Fitzpatrick, right? I'm talking about Devontae Parker, right? And he's saying Fitzpatrick didn't have that same issue. I'm saying because Fitzpatrick was a stellar veteran in the NFL.
Savvy.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. Nobody disputed. Nobody ever tried to dispute that.
And know how to use them more. That's all I'm saying. At that point,
I agree with that. I agree with that. When have I ever tried to dispute that? Nobody's just disputing that.
But you got to bring that up when you talk about the film evaluation, because that's the only period you can be talking about, Em.
But I did. But that's why I said, bro, this is why, again, I'm only attacking the narrative that a lot of the Tuaneers, and again, I'm not trying to single anybody out on this panel, a lot of the fucking Tuaneers, whatever, if you are on the side of the fence of pro Tua, the narrative that they can, even to this day, right? I see it on Twitter, on multiple platforms all the time, that no quarterback, those were just absolutely, it was no quarterback could have possibly had decent numbers and performed adequately behind that O-line and with that skill position players, which is just not true, bro. It's not.
And that's I'm not even
coming off a major hip injury, can't do it.
Again, nobody. That's what I never put that expectation on Tua. In his first 2 years, I never did that.
Nobody's saying nobody could do it. Em, stop saying where people are
saying no. Again, I see it even to this day. Not so much, but definitely 20. People are still trying to sell that. I see it every day. What are you talking about? They say that no quarterback. Tua had the absolute worst situation. And again, it was a bad situation. Now that we have the benefit of hindsight and we can reevaluate that whole, not just personnel, but internally, right? The personnel. It was a bad situation for him. It was bad.
So this was always my argument. When you compare Burrow's situation to Herbert's situation to Tua's situation, Tua was always in the worst situation.
Right.
Like coming into
100%.
the
Nobody's
league.
ever.
And it's not. Look,
nobody's
it's not,
ever tried to deny that, bro. That's
right.
fact.
And it has a lot to do with his health. It has a lot to do with the position he was put in, the coaching,
The
all
level
of
of rebuild. The level of rebuild.
right. So that's nothing to even argue about. I think that's.
It is.
I think that is. We all can agree on that.
Which is why, right? I never pushed the V. I never wanted to move off of Tua only for an established guy, the greatest quarterback we've ever seen in Tom Brady, or at that time a top 3 quarterback, which was Deshaun Watson. Anything else than that, I said, no, bro, I'm sticking with Tua. He has flashed and shown enough to continue that developmental cycle. Bro, the receipts are out there. I've been consistent about that.
Hey, man. We've been going for 3 hours. Bro, I know.
I'm just saying, why were we even talking about Tua in 2020, his rookie season?
No, because the narrative came up. Not that it was an EM narrative. EM addressed the narrative about Tua missing people wide open, running down the field, right? And I said, I took it back there because you can't be talking about this year or last year, because in order to make that assessment, it has to be a consistency basis argument, right?
No,
and the only time it was inconsistent was when Tua's first year as a starter. So that's what took us back there. We started.
No, that's not necessarily true. But that's not necessarily true.
You're saying Tua on a consistent basis is missing wide open receivers between last year and this year?
There are stretches.
Every game this season.
Oh,
no.
But Lou, every quarterback misses. Every quarterback misses guys, bro.
Absolutely. So don't sit here and say that he don't. That Tua does not do that now, which is what Lil Nicky just said.
No.
Bro, first of all, now we just talking like we're not going to do this.
Tim Tebow
look,
on a consistent basis.
We not going to talk like we don't know football in here. What I'm going to tell you is that every week, week in and week out, look, whether it's Tom Brady, whether it's Drew
just not as
Brees, whether it's
consistent as it used to be. It's just not as consistent as it used to be.
Everybody misses guys.
Can I ask a question?
Stop. Go ahead, Lou. And I'm going to end it after this. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. The question
you better, because I'm about to
You ain't about to like shit, boy. You trash. Stop.
The question I would have, right, when I'm on this panel and I look at the background, I see aqua. It says Finn's take with CB83 in orange. Why are you bringing up Patrick Mahomes? Why are you talking about Lamar Jackson? Why are you talking about? I'm saying you brought up what every quarterback misses. Is this a Dolphin channel?
Bro, but that's the nature of the. First of all, stop. That's the nature of the position. That is the nature of every quarterback in the NFL. They miss reads, they miss throws every week. What are we talking about? Everybody, there's somebody running wide open, probably 1 out of 5 plays per game. Let's stop it. Let's act like we know what's going on, dog.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Well, why didn't you say stop to Nick then when Nick brought up his receivers that couldn't create separation when every quarterback in the league don't have receivers that create separation?
Look.
Why ain't you talking about
but here we go. I'm gonna tell you about that. Let me answer his question.
Kill them casuals,
so
Lou.
every week,
every
week, quarterbacks throw the balls to guys that are open and that are trying to separate. Right? It doesn't matter if you're throwing the ball to a guy and you hit him in the hands and he has no separation. Guess what? Typically, the DB is going to be right there to knock it out of his hands, right? That's just the nature of it. That's the nature of the position. Receivers are taught to separate. They are taught to beat their men one-on-one, right? And if they're not separating, they aren't going to have an opportunity to catch clean balls, right? If you aren't catching clean balls, you aren't going to be able to catch it and run or just catch it, period. So that's why we bring up the separation. That's why we bring up time to throw the ball, because that is important in terms of getting completions, bro, and being successful.
I agree with all that, CB. What I'm saying is, I went on mute. I haven't said nothing. Just let me get my shit off. Okay,
Go
cool.
ahead.
I'm not debating anything you said. You're absolutely right. What does that have to do with Tua in year 4? This is year 4.
Year 4.
Missing guys wide open. Not seeing those guys on the field. What does anything that you or Little Nick just brought up, what does
all right,
that
you said my name. I get to go.
With Tua Tagovailoa
I give you
this
those.
season, what does that have to do
Little
with
So,
Nick now, I
so
get
here
you
we
those.
go. So since you said, what does it have to do with him missing guys wide open, Lewis?
Right.
When we're gonna put on the film, and you're gonna show me how many guys Tua missed, and you're gonna tell me why he should have threw it there instead of going to somewhere else. Because if we really put on the film and break it down like we supposed to, and not just talk out our asses, we'll probably see that hey, Tua probably didn't have that option to go to that. Right, and I'm sure. Look, and I'm sure there will be some instances. There will be one or two plays per game that everybody can point to and say, this guy was running wide open. That's very easy to do in the NFL. I can put on any game from last week and find 2 or 3 guys running wide open on any offense in any team in the NFL.
Here's the thing.
No. This is where your bias, Lewis.
Hold on. Let Big Nick go. Let Big Nick go, and then I'm going to let you go,
This is
Ian.
where your biasness come in at, Lewis, because you hear only what you want to hear. Nobody here said that Tua was never missing wide open players. The key word was consistent. Back then, he was inconsistent like a mug. He was inconsistent. So right now, if you say that Tua right now in this year is an inconsistent quarterback when they come to hitting wide open receivers, then that's your biasness against you.
I can't agree with that.
So now you do agree that there was inconsistencies with Tua in his first 2 years in the league.
But there was look, and we said there was inconsistencies.
But the objective individuals, now that we have the benefit of hindsight, we can look back in the rear view and reevaluate his first 2 years. The objective-minded individuals that were just highlighting there were inconsistencies, they were told that they're haters, right? That they didn't know what they were talking about.
But here we go. Big Nick.
So I'm glad to see y'all are now finally caught up to speed.
So Ian and Lewis, let me answer your questions, right? Hold up, Big Nick. So, right, the people who point out the inconsistencies, right? These are the same people that don't provide context to what's going on around him, right?
Well, so I definitely don't fit that criteria. I definitely don't fit in that category.
So these are the same people who don't say, well, he was dealing with the baddest whole line in the league, and these are the same people who don't consider that. Well, damn, his rushing attack was 26. Like, damn, also 1.9 to separation. Yeah, like y'all don't even though you say he's inconsistent, you don't look at what's around him, and you gotta admit that the play around him this year has been let me finish. The play around him has been consistent. Mike McDaniel has established a culture where guys are expected to do their job and do it consistently week in and week out. And as a result of that has made Tua much more comfortable in his position. Right, and he's elevated his play as a result of that. You can't tell me that's not the truth.
Hang on real quick, Lou. I got two. I want to address 2 points that TD. Damn,
man, you better stop calling me TD.
CB attempted to make. My bad. I'm sorry. Listen, I got 2 points. The narrative that like we're dismissive of, sure. When you put on the film of every quarterback in the league, you can be critical where they didn't make the proper read. You can do that. That's factual information. I agree 100%. However, that doesn't become amplified. And again, I highlight the 2 games. Really not even Philly so much, but definitely Kansas City in my estimation. I think Tua, in terms of those 3 games, he was the least consistent in that game, in my opinion. So it becomes amplified. Those misses, those 2 to 3 misses, those 2 to 3 windows per game becomes amplified. Becomes amplified when the game is so close, like Kansas City. When you put the tape on, you reassess that game and his play. Well, those 3 to 4 potential reads that he misses, those could have influenced the outcome favorably for us in those games.
1,000%.
So you should always, anytime any quarterback, this is relative to Tua or any quarterback in the league, you have to make those plays make more, and then no quarterback is going to make every single read, right?
But you need to try to make
you got to make enough of them to influence the outcome favorably in your respective team's favor. A,
And that's all
B,
I said.
Also in B, shit, I forgot my second point. God damn it.
Okay,
Go ahead,
Luke.
Luke. Damn it.
I want to ask you a question.
Shit.
I want to ask anybody.
Hey, Big Nick, I gotta close it up,
This is
bro.
my last one, and I'm going TB. I want anybody can answer this question. If you only had two choices, gun to your head, somebody said this year and this year only. Tua is an inconsistent quarterback or a consistent quarterback. Which one are you picking?
Consistent.
So why bring up those two plays?
You see right there, but why not?
Because I mean,
because it's an anomaly. It's an anomaly.
But see, Big Nick, and that's where people's. I know, I get what you're saying, Luke. People still have the right to criticize bad players.
You're right.
And look, and I understand that. Like, it's very easy for us to be nitpicky. We're winning games, right? It's really easy to go back to those 3 games and say, point out a couple plays here or there that could have made the difference in the game. That happens, right? You do want Tua making those plays. I'm not denying that, right? We want Tua to make every play on the field. Is it possible? It's not possible. He's not going to make every play when you go out there. He's going to make bad plays. I think quarterbacks playing the position
One of the best times I've been on, fellas.
They understand that. Like, hey, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna miss guys.
Shit! Look at T. Rich. Look at T. Rich. Look at this shit.
I just got to hit.
Look at what he just put in the chat. CB. I'm sorry.
He's not a Dolphin fan. It don't matter.
Man, you say he ain't a Dolphin. I thought you wasn't listening to him, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
It's all good. I just think, hey, we understand the nature of the position. If you understand the nature of the quarterback position, you know guys are gonna miss reads, miss plays. It happens. What we want down the stretch is Tua playing good football and making those plays.
And he's been making enough of them. He's been making enough of them to give us the favorable record that we have. His elevated level of play, the analytics bear out that, as well as the film. We just need Tua now to check the majority of the boxes. He needs to go to another level.
Elevate.
We just need him to go to another level.
Go ahead, Mr. Polk. Go ahead, Mr. Polk. Yep, you said that.
I say that when I got on. That's what I was saying when I got on.
And a lot of guys are like that, but you can't be like elevate and then don't give guys an opportunity to make bad plays, because every quarterback is gonna make bad plays.
Right.
That's just the nature of the position, bro. Like how many bad games has Tua had this season?
I don't think
how many. Let me ask a question. Hold up. Let me ask the question one more time.
Go ahead.
How many bad games has Tua had this season?
I don't think Tua has had. Now, if you're just judging individual play, right?
I'm talking individual play. How many bad games?
I don't think Tua has had a terrible play this year. A terrible game.
You don't think he's had a bad game this year, right?
No, not terrible. Okay. No, he's had.
That has been Louis' argument all year. I'm gonna give him credit for that. That has been his argument.
That's all you can ask for from quarterbacks, bro. That's all you can ask for. Like, as long as you're helping the team and not hurting, as long as you're an asset and not a liability to the team. That's all you can ask for.
That has been Louis' argument.
It's easy for us to nitpick. It's easy for us to nitpick a couple plays, right? But how many bad games has Tua had? Like, really, when you think about it,
I can't. Not now. He's been more consistent in others, but as far as like just terrible play, no, I haven't seen that.
Ugly games.
No, but can I
games. The Raiders game was an ugly game, even though he had big numbers. It was an ugly game.
He had ugly moments. He had ugly moments in that game. It wasn't when you evaluate the complete game. No.
Go ahead, Mr. Paul. Go ahead, Mr. Paul. I'm gonna wrap it up.
The biggest thing that I'm seeing from Tua this year, and I saw flashes in the past, is that when he does, if he makes a mistake, he goes back and correct it, or he goes to the sideline and he understands, okay, I made a mistake, and I'm going to do something about it, whether it be this game or the next game. And to me, that's all I need to see.
That's all you can ask for. With a young quarterback, he's still young, 4 years, right, Mr. Paul.
He's progressing.
He's getting better year in and year out. If we can see that every year, I think we'll be fine.
But he's not perfect. Because name me a quarterback that is. There's no such thing as a perfect quarterback.
No such
And
thing.
I'm not as much. I don't have as much knowledge as you guys do, but I know for a fact there's no such thing as a perfect quarterback.
No such
So
thing.
all quarterbacks are going to have their ups and
I
downs.
disagree with that, Mr. Pope.
Or
His
name
name
me
is
a perfect
Daniel
quarterback.
Constantine Marino.
Shit, he was throwing picks too.
Oh.
I don't remember none of that.
He don't remember that.
Nah,
Hey,
that's
here
too
we go.
funny.
Hey, final text, Mr. Polk. I'm gonna let you go first, bro. Go ahead,
Well,
man.
thanks for letting me come up, and it's good to be up here with a bunch of guys who had knowledge of the game. That's the reason why I come up on the panel, because I know in some panels that I may not have as much knowledge, but I'm learning by listening to the different opinions of you guys. All I gotta say is that
we all are,
don't
Mr. Polk. We
criticize.
all are, bro. We in the same boat.
We all
Right.
are learning. Yep.
What I'm saying is, don't criticize people who are trying to learn the game, because I like I said, I've had night jobs and evening jobs most of my life, and that's why I missed out on football. Right now, I'm semi-retired, and I'm trying to absorb and to learn as much football as I can, and I'm going to always ask guys like CB83, Lewis, Big Nick, EM, Reason. I'm going to try to learn from all you guys. That's why I'm subscribed to just about every Dolphin podcast on YouTube, because I'm going to jump from podcast to podcast to see what I can learn. I may have some favorite towards other ones, but that's just me. That's how I learn.
And that's how it should be, man. And people who, only listen to people who have their same point of view is wild to me. I would never live in a world like that where I only listen to people who I have the same opinions with. That's just that just ain't me, and that's bad. But I appreciate you coming on, Mr. Polk.
That's why I know so much about MAGA.
Mr. Park, real quick before you go, I just wanted to tell you, you fit in very well when you're on a panel with EM, Nick, and CB. They don't know nothing either, so don't worry about it, Mr. Park. You fit right in. You good, Mr.
We know the brain. We know how to bring you to the light.
All right, Mr. Polk. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, y'all take it easy now.
All right, take it easy.
All
right, man.
I'll go.
Go ahead, Big Nick. Go ahead, man.
My final take gonna be a quick assessment of EM Dolphin fan. EM is the type of bully that he becomes friends with the kid he used to bully, so he no longer kicks him in the ass. But he will get on that bicycle and stay all damn day, even though that boy ain't supposed to let nobody ride his bicycle. That's my evaluation of EM when it comes to Tool. He don't kick him in the ass no more, but he will get on that bicycle and stay all damn day.
I got you, Big Nick. Hey, appreciate you coming through, man.
If the film warrants it, hey, guess what? That's what my evaluation is going to reflect. Nothing more, nothing less.
The man bicycle all day. Ain't nobody supposed to be on that bicycle, man. You got to chill.
But Nick, real shit though. When have haven't I not been singing to it? Bro, my voice has been as loud or louder than anybody in terms of to his praise, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't been listening long enough.
Listen. What caused me to look at you side out one time is that I do remember you kind of made an argument for Skylar at one point.
No, that's where you listen. You heard what you want to hear. Lewis, you can tell the truth, Lou.
Hey, man, I'm not doing this, man.
I never said nothing about, bro. I just I took the same approach with Skylar that I did with Tua. At that time, when Skylar's name was going viral. Again, I was just looking about what the film was saying. He was playing very good from a preseason perspective.
Against UPS drivers, Winn-Dixie warehouse workers.
We'll call it that's all the film we had to evaluate.
That's all he had to evaluate. Hey, appreciate you coming on, Big Nick. Fins up, bro. Fins up. All right, man. EM, go ahead, bro. Final take, man. Y'all killing me tonight, bro.
Man, listen. Yeah. Listen, dude. Listen.
This was a good show, though. Honestly, it was a good show.
It
got a little chaotic, but it was
again, there's nothing wrong with having a little chaos, bro. Controlled chaos. There's nothing wrong with that, having spirited debates.
Always.
But at the end of the day, listen, again, I want to go back to when you opened the show when we were talking about the team, man. I just could not be more in love with this team, everything about this team. It's just we're in a good place as Dolphin fans in terms of, there's so much positivity surrounding this team. And again, I do think I want to reiterate, like I said earlier, bro, like in the short term as well as the long term, we are set up. It seems like it appears to be we are set up for not only short term success, but long term success. And again, we should all be encouraged as fans. That is the biggest thing we should be taking out these last 2 years under Mike McDaniel. And hey man, let's just look forward to we're gonna look forward to Monday night. The Titans are in town, and hopefully we get another dub, and hopefully it's not. The Dolphins put them away pretty early, right? So we can quickly and move on to the next game. But at the end of the day, bro, looking forward to Monday night, and appreciate you having me on, CB.
Well, Ian, before you leave, real quick, because I want to give my final thoughts with you up here, right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So real quick, listen, I love the show today. It sometimes I want to agree with Ian real quick. Sometimes a heated debate. It's good for everybody because it gets the chat involved. And again, that to Mr. Paulk and everybody's point, right? The only way we're ever going to get better is to hear each other out, whether it gets heated or not. I think everybody takes away something from that conversation. But I just wanted to say, right, that I appreciate, I want, me and CB have had a lot of interactions in the past, right? And things have gotten heated. Both on my end, both on his end. We're big enough people to sit up here today. And again, CB, I'm not trying to break any news on.
So y'all ain't nobody pulling up now? Ain't nobody pulling up?
No.
Ain't nobody pulling up now?
Bro, you a fool, bro.
No, listen. Well, CB knows we can get it whenever, listen, that's another conversation for another day. All right.
Damn.
Listen, at the end of the
day,
you
hear that, CB? You hear that?
Listen, I'm trying to be serious. I want to thank CB for giving me the platform, right? Letting me come up here, even though we've had problems in the past. Yeah. And I think everybody in the chat, whoever's still listening, whatever, I think, in the future, there might be some news coming down the pipeline.
We working.
Of some real good conversations about this team, CB, right? And I think
I'm gonna need a name on that. I'm gonna need a name on it. What you talking about?
Me and Lou got something cooking, man. Y'all better look out.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Me and CB might be putting some things together. Hopefully, we can get some people to come on every once in a while with us and stuff. And try to give people good conversations within the community without the trolling. Again, can't promise there might not be some yelling or trolling, but for the most part, there's some real good conversations. So I just wanted to let everybody know. CB, I'm not trying to break no news, but
if I may one moment, that is very good to hear because CB need all the goddamn help he can get. So salute to you, Lou, for taking. Salute to you, Lou. Salute.
Oh man.
Good talk, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all boys coming on with me. Honestly, we have the best conversations when we can have these dialogues, and there's some pushback. All right, I understand there's two type of Dolphin fans out there. There's a pessimist and the person who's the optimist about where we are. I understand that. I want to bring people content that shows both sides, right, and that we can have a good dialogue about where the Miami Dolphins are and what we need to do to get better and be critical of the football team. So the same way we're like the pessimists are critical, the guys are critical on themselves. That's what I want you guys to understand also, right? These guys want to be playing at the best level and playing at the highest level that they can, right? That's why Mike McDaniel is put a camera onto his helmet so he can start learning to go through his progressions and look at it and evaluate it and help him evaluate. I think that's part of the process. But we're seeing the growth in these guys, and we're seeing a great football team. And honestly, I'm happy with where we are. I just want us towards the end of the year to start putting it together. I want to see Tua make those plays, like you said, Lou, down the stretch, versus Dak, versus Lamar Jackson. He's done it before. He could do it again. So
1,000%.
And that's the thing. If he's put it on film before, he could definitely do it again. But appreciate y'all boys coming through, man. It's always love, man.
Likewise. We'll do it again. We'll do it again soon, man. You know how we do.
Salute.
Shout out to the homies for coming through, man. I appreciate y'all. I really appreciate y'all coming through. Do me a favor, hit the like button on your way out. Hey, it's Finn's Take with CB83, and your boy is out. See ya.
Came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning. Oof, hey, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.